Hello? Is anyone there? Ground control to Major Tom. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Happy Friday. Or, if you're in a place where it's already Saturday, is that possible? Maybe Japan. Then happy Saturday. Happy weekend, everybody. Oh my gosh. Who do we got? Alan, Liz, Connor, Cool Beans, Howie, Plot. Hello, hello, hello. Elroy. Welcome from the future. Skycap. Una Ninja. Wow, what do I think of the Phoenix flavor? I've never tried it myself. I think that Phoenix is awesome. So I'm sure it's great. I've just never tried it myself. Maybe one day. I don't get to play games. You must understand. My beard is getting epic. It's too epic. I've actually trimmed it at points over the course of the what's it called? Over the quarantine several times actually. So it can get, trust me, it can get way gnarlier than what you see here. Xedit is the only game Dylan plays here for sure. I just noticed other WebJect mod lists. Thought it might apply to US and help the ports by seeing what other mod packs did and how they ported stuff. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's definitely true. Or it always helps to look at, you know, what else is out there, and you know, use it as an example. Actually, oh my god. I've spent the majority of this week working on the WebJect install for 4.0.7. It's coming along really nicely. It's been very interesting to figure out how it all works and kind of, you know, apply it to what we have going on. It's very exciting. I've been explicitly told by my team not to give you guys any specific release dates, which is very sensible. I have an issue with that where I tend to offer them before. Oh, hold on, this sucks. So one of my monitors is, I think it's done. It shat the bed this week, and I've had kind of sporadic success with getting it working again. It looks like it might finally be kicking the bucket. Excuse me. I don't even know what I'm trying to say there. Thanks for the release date. Can't wait to play tomorrow. Of course. We're working on it. It's not far off. It's in the finishing stages. I can describe what I'm doing, which is essentially just we have a working WebJect install, and now it's just a matter of, you know, fixing up things that still need some attention. Hazard realized earlier that we don't have cleaned ESMs in there, so I got to go and do those, and a couple little ENB tweaks. In fact, the ENB tweaks we can do ourselves. Really, there's so many different things we can work on. We can work on LE, we can work on SE. I would prefer to work on LE just to get it the fuck out of the way, and get it out, because we actually have worked quite hard on this update, even though it's, you know, it's an end-of-life update that's going to really only exist for users who remain behind on LE. But for the ones who do, you can rest assured that we put a lot of love and care into the thing. The 4.0.7 with Requiem 4.0.1. No, I don't know where. This is not a Requiem update by any means, Cisco. Una Ninja, what mic do you use? This is an AT2020, I believe. Let me double check. Okay, I can't see, but I'm pretty sure it's an AT2020. Speaking of that, will be the LE first, then SE. What do you mean, Rust? You talking about releases? You talking about what we're doing today? Look, this is an LE build. How special. You know what we can do right now? Let's go and tweak some ENB settings. That's something we can do. LE update sooner than coming sooner than SE, hopefully. That should be the case. I'm fairly certain. Ow. Oh boy. God knows I would like to get it out. Just once the LE release is out, then I don't have to fucking worry about it anymore, right? It's just done and out of my hair. But of course, it's the old adage, if something's worth doing at all, it's worth doing it the right way. So there's been many things where we'll be like, like this would be improved by making this little addition or tweak or whatever, and because it's the end of life update for LE and it's the last one that it's really getting, barring maintenance, you know, it's might as well just jam all the stuff in there and make sure, like, what's the point of the whole thing if it's not a pleasant playing experience, right? Even though I won't be playing it, you guys will be playing it, because technically it's not outdated the second that it drops. I'm in the context of today's stream. Stream title says SE. That it does, because I'll probably be spending most of the time on SE, but also I don't give a fuck about the stream title. It's always the same anyway, or it's wrong. I don't care. And it's all working on SE anyway. Working on LE is a function of working on SE, because working on LE means I never have to fucking touch it again, and then I can work on SE exclusively from now on, which is what I really want to do. No accidental nudity today, I hope. I hope not as well. Title, I don't give a fuck about the stream title. That's what it should be. Okay, I gotta get these two sources of music to stop. Hold on. You. Pause. Yeah, I actually didn't upload the other... Yes, it's fine. I didn't upload the last stream VOD to YouTube because I didn't want to re-render it just to get rid of the part of, you know, with the nude lady. And, like, who cares? This one will be up there, hopefully with no accidental nudity. Noodly. So we're going to pop in here. What we really have left to do for this EMB is just some say that the ENB is a bit dark, which is true, because the ENB has been updated to Suki. It is really just a problem with using light bulb mods, like Realistic Lighting Overhaul. Does a really good job of doing exactly what it says it does, which is making lighting more realistic. But Skyrim, if you guys are not familiar, Skyrim is a very... Oh, look, we got Thick Boy EMB. The lighting in Skyrim is very dependent on what you would call ambient lighting. So instead of real life, where all lighting is from points, like point-based lighting, so for example, a fireplace or a light bulb or anything that generates light is a point light. And that's how lighting works IRL for the most part. Uh-oh. Stream lag, huh? Oh, you know what? I remember. It's the ENB. Alright, hold on. That means we gotta restart. So the issue is if you... And, alright, so by contrast, ambient lighting is something that video games do sometimes, where the lighting will be a certain level or appearance regardless of what the point lights are doing in the scene. And that's not realistic, but it is sometimes good for just general visibility. It just kind of ensures that nothing gets too dark. And so the issue with... hold on a second. What is it on LE? I don't even fucking remember. What's the display fixes mod? I don't even display. No. What is it? I know there's one. You guys remember? Anyone remember what the display... Like, what's the equivalent of SSE display tweaks on LE? I'm pretty sure we use one tweak. That's it. It's been a while. What the H? Isn't it one tweak? Oh. Ultimate Skyrim. Wow, look at all this. What the fuck? Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay, that was weird. You know, you can just type it in the data tab filter you're talking about here. Yeah, it's true. I forget about that feature sometimes. Connection. No, that's what happens when we have this enabled. Borderless window. False. Now, hopefully, this still allows me to read chat. Otherwise, that's going to be a problem. I really need like a better pop-out thing for chat. All right, let's go. That should fix it. It's in the US 4.0.7 file. What Hazard's talking about, in case anyone doesn't know, you can unlock this. The newest versions of MO2 include this filter in the data tab. So the data tab, if you're not familiar, is just, it's showing you what the virtual file system is going to run on top of your game. So this is essentially, this is the what we're building out in MO2. You get to see everything as it is. It's really fucking cool. You can do stuff like, you know, look at a texture. What would be a good example? Architecture. Sure, Markarth. Bad example because there's no conflicts there. Riften? Shit. Farmhouse. No conflicts there. Maybe because the game is running. I don't know. Maybe because there's no conflicts. But anyway, you can see what files are being added by what mods, and it's really, really nice because if you have, you know, conflicts between your mods, you can see exactly where they occur, and you can selectively hide files from mods to resolve the conflicts, and it's just really nice. This is conflict resolution of a different sort, not within plugins, but within mod files. And despite how nice this is, it was formerly a massive pain in the ass to navigate because, as you can see, there's a whole lot of fucking files that are installed by mods. These are just all plugins. Oh, here's like some conflicting stuff, right? So you see Imp Helm Legend, we have versions of that from both weapons and armor fixes and also in improved close face helmets. So same file, two different mods. It's a huge, huge pain in the ass. There's a bajillion files, and getting to the ones you want can be sometimes very annoying, sometimes be. But recently, oh boy, this filter box was added down here. So what's a good example here? Imp. Will this show anything? Yeah, so Imp EXT will show us exclusively files starting with that. So the reason I know this is because I was just looking at some of these meshes on Special Edition. So now, just immediately, I can sort to whatever it is I'm looking for. In this case, it would be meshes, it could be textures, it could be anything. Essentially, your entire install with all of these frickin' files is indexed and can be searched immediately like that, including archives, by the way. Files within archives. You can't edit the ones within the archives the same way because they're not loose. They're tucked nicely into an archive, and that makes them, they're not as granular. You don't have the same level of granular control, but you can still see them, and you can see if something's overwriting them, and it's just really fucking cool. It's honestly amazing. A real game changer, if you will. Just saves you time. Okay. Oh, shit. Well, you know what? This is going to still be a problem. Back out we go to our ini. Now, see, you guys tell me what you prefer here. MO2 devs are awesome. They take requests and respond fast. Yes, they do. I just download alternate conversation camera. Plays almost exclusively in first person. I still regularly see your... See, Shepard, I like alternate conversation camera. I specifically do not like the feature where it shows my character because I don't have any... It's not like Mass Effect or something, right? Where, like, you know, NPC says something and then you select a response and then you watch your character voice it back to the NPC. Your character themselves, like, they don't speak, so it feels weird to me. I can see how it's for some people. It's not really for me. Okay, so what I was going to ask is that a lot of you guys seem to prefer the full screen setting disabled, and you prefer borderless full screen for the purpose of understanding, for the purpose of just being able to alt tab, really, and not have the game kind of shit the bed every time. For me, I don't really alt tab Skyrim much, or if I do, I don't mind. I prefer, like, if you don't have that turned on, you get, in some cases, upwards of 10 frames that you'll be maintaining instead. Hey, Balian, what is up, dude? It's going pretty good over here. That's totally understandable, just like seeing my character. I feel you, Shepard. I do that a lot, too. I just use third-person camera. I play exclusively in first-person, too. It's kind of funny to me that people play in third person. I know a lot of people do, and I actually was working really hard this week on camera updates to the third person camera. Balian, how you doing? You getting to, I think I saw you streaming earlier. God, is that Hassan again? Yeah, I mean, third person camera, you get to see your character, which, like, what is the point of these games if not to build out? Oh, it's just so much smoother immediately. Yeah, so a lot of people seem to prefer having borderless window, which to me it makes sense because of alt tabbing, and on SSE it seems a bit better. But to me, the difference between having borderless window and having like 10 frames per second increase makes a big difference. All right, how's the stream? Yes, Peon, you can get, I mean, it's not universal that you'll always be getting 10 frames, but having it in full screen, and this is with most games. What the hell? That is weird. Well, it's got to be the EMB then. Watch if I turn it off. How about now? Better? Better? Alright, well, you know what? That's weird. Because this is definitely not running in full screen. Or, sorry, in borderless windowed anymore. So, welp, I guess that kind of precludes us from doing what we were going to do here in, what's it called? LE Skyrim, because I specifically need to, I've opened this up to adjust E and B settings. That's okay, I'll just do them off screen. And we can jump back to SSE. Because, I mean, it's better anyway. It's more fun to develop. Use a second PC setup when streaming just for Skyrim. Yeah, I feel you, Balian. I am hoping... In fact, you know what? Let's find out. Let's do a quick test. I'm hoping that we won't experience this problem on SSE because I do not... I have a second computer for streaming, and I don't want to use it. I want to sell it. The main thing I had the second computer for, I mean, was for streaming, but also for... I'm just going to set this back to 0 just in case. Where is that? Skyrim prefs. You there. And you here. See here, plugin one tweak.ini. Cool. Borderless window. True. Oh, is it not going to let me edit it? Open. There we go. I swear that on SSE we managed to preempt this and have it not be a problem. You go into the menu and hit desktop. Forgot you can do that. So used to console and QQQ. Oh, is that the quit command? I actually didn't even know. I have never used that bay. Maybe I should start. But yeah, so I want to sell my second PC because the other main thing I got it for was like rendering off my main PC, and now there is a pretty crazy improvement to the rendering pipeline for like RTX cards. I don't have one right now, but I want to get one, and the rendering times on like Premiere and stuff is like, they're nuts. They're crazy faster. What EMB are you aiming for on SE? I know the tech isn't as good. So I actually am thinking very strongly about, I'm thinking so strongly about including a Rudy and a Silent Horizons profile. So like right now I'm experimenting with Silent Horizons. I was actually messing with this stuff last night specifically. So when we launch this, we'll see. It's going to be very choppy. In fact, let's go ahead and run it and see if we get the same issue. And I mean choppy in terms of frames. If it's choppy in terms of the stream, then we got to adjust stuff. Rudy for Cathedral is probably one of the best looking EMBs. I think it looks really good. I think that Silent Horizons looks better overall. It's also way more, like, crazy more performance intensive, at least by default. Oh shit, you know what? Actually, hold on. I need to do something real fast before we do this. Let me close you, pop open. People are talking about this very strongly. Okay, detail. Let's get rid of ambient occlusion here. And I also have AA turned on through the... Where is AA? Here it is. Anti-aliasing. Let's try none. Make sure. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right. I'm going to try and let the ENB handle this. Let's see what happens. Someone who likes the super light looking ENBs add very little changes, vanilla plus ENBs. The vanilla plus ENBs, that is. So Silent Horizons is kind of unique in that it looks more vanilla than you'd think. It looks really good. It's honestly kind of nuts how good it looks. So right now I have SSE display tweaks is, I believe, set to yes, windowed mode. So chances are IIRC, when we run this, the stream is going to be choppy in the same way that LE was just choppy. So we'll see. And I believe we experienced that, and then when I tried full screen on SSE, it seemed to not be a problem. And I'm hoping that's the case. I kind of got turned around on this. I just really don't want to have to stream from a second PC, especially not if I'm like this monitor is 1440p. I would really like to stream in 1440p. Right now, the current capture card setup that I have wouldn't allow that. I don't think the screenshots do a good job of illustrating what it actually looks like in game, Bay. If anything, what I like about Silent Horizons is that it's what's the word? It's not washed out. And this is a problem that I think a lot of ENBs have, not only just in general, but in SSE in particular, because SSE has this weird kind of weather style where it's like everything is covered in a haze, like a fog. Hey CT, how you doing? Wondering if switching to full screen would allow me to finally use an ENB. It can help, Shepard. It's just you accept that it pretty much locks you out of using whatever other monitors you have. But for me, like I always, when I'm actually playing Skyrim, I cut myself down to one monitor anyway. So the whole alt-tabbing business is not as big of a deal to me. Your mileage may vary. It's just squeezing that extra bit of performance out. That used to be kind of a big deal on old installs of Ultimate Skyrim. But we're trying really hard. I'm trying really hard this time around to make the install extremely scalable out the gate in terms of performance. Let's go to this one. So expect some low frame rates, but we need to see if it's going to be choppy. So here, let's already start testing. How smooth is this for you guys? If it's all fucked, we already have a problem. Ooh. Is the first SE build of US going to be like a direct port of the LE build? Yes, it is. It does have some additional features. Quite a lot, actually. So this is Silent Horizons, but with no AA. How choppy are we looking at here? Just in terms of general smoothness, right? Okay, so if it's smooth, terribly choppy. Choppy like before. Okay, we expected that. That's fine. Now, here's the big kicker. It's a complete slideshow. It's like complete shit show. Now, here's the kicker. Let's try full screen. True, because whoops. Hopefully it's not case sensitive. So we'll check this out. Now, I believe this was the case last time. Hazard, my frame rate is not capped, but it is capped because of the stream. Because I am streaming in 60 FPS, so it's limited to 60 FPS, which sucks because having that 144 FPS, even just the menus, like you're obviously not going to hit 144 FPS, or at least my, getting ancient processor is not going to hit 144 FPS in game, but it'll hit above 60. And the menus are always 144, which is just really nice. It's very smooth. Interval I played around with before to help that kind of slideshow. Well, so on your guys' screen, this is like the whole issue, right? I guess that's what you're talking about, is like the ENB. But you really, like, on SSE, VSync is handled differently. SSE display tweaks is different. It's really a completely different beast than Legendary Edition Skyrim. It's, I don't know, it's smarter. Hey, Miami Knights. Goes well. We are about to hop into SE and see. Hopefully this will be smoother. The frame rate can still be low. We just need to make sure that it's not choppy. Because that would be some ENB business. And I guess OBS? Does it only happen in OBS? That's a good question. Or one I'm curious to know the answer to. Like, I don't know what other methods of recording someone would be comfortable using at this point. I love OBS so much that I imagine if it, I have to choose between OBS and something else, I would choose between OBS and, like, maybe having a second computer. Okay. Now let's try. How choppy? Smoother? Okay. It's okay if the frame rate's low. Oh, you know what? I'm watching on the screen. It's choppy as hell. I can see the little preview. Fuck. Yeah, but I don't want to... I mean, if I'm using my second PC... like... I don't want to watch and then watch if I disable this. Watch and then watch. Now I'm sure it's ultra smooth, right? Yep, I can see it in the preview. But Rudy, it handles light sources. You can completely get rid of any Flickerfest light overhauls. Well, any ENB... Monique is going to handle ENB lights, which is really nice. The problem with ENB lights, again, too, is that they are not detected by the engine for detection. It's the same reason why I use Equinoctium weathers over things like Obsidian, which I actually do prefer some of the lighting in Obsidian. But Obsidian and Cathedral, they look nice and they wreak hell on the detection engine. I've mentioned this in other streams before, but some of their weathers are they just report higher light levels than they should, and you have these crazy instances where, like a rainstorm or a snowstorm a player will be easier to detect in a snowstorm or a rainstorm than they are, in like a clear day. My NPCs are having a dirt nap because everyone is dead. Thanks to Kill All. Alright, well, so you guys can see what the ENB looks like in a still frame. So I'll turn it on. I just won't move. And then the other stuff we got to do. Let me disable some of these effects here. Get rid of depth of field. And for anti-aliasing, we can try... How's the edge AA? It's like okay. Actually, isn't bad. Oh, actually, it is bad. I don't like it. I can see like off in the distance. Using NVIDIA Shadowplay or whatever it's now called for my recording, smoothest, lesser affecting way. Shadowplay is great for local recording. It's, I think, the tool that I prefer the most of any of the recording methods. There's no streaming there, as far as I know, anyway. All right, let's try that again. Now, there are other gnarlier anti-aliasing methods included in this build. You know, it could be that Rudy was somehow able to handle this. Let me see here. Where is... Am I crazy? I thought in E&B series there was a way to fuck around with my... Maybe it's an E&B effect. No. No. Get out of here. Depth of field bloom. Alright, well, it looks like I'm not editing it from in here. I was thinking the other day, possibly E&B make vanilla lights disappear and substitute them all with E&B lights, so maintain the vanilla lights for the NPCs. Oh. That's an interesting idea, CT. So essentially, what you're talking about is for the player not rendering the lights so that there's no flickering, it's all E&B handled, but for the purpose of the detection algorithms, the lights are still rendered for the NPCs. I personally couldn't care less about detection. It's wonky regardless of E&B. It's just like most of the things in Skyrim. Skill progression from a giant target to borderline invisible. I'm not quite sure what you mean, Monique. Got a top tier rig though, so unsure how much that affects it. I mean, Shadowplay is whatever your computer hardware, it's gonna probably be the most efficient method of... Here, let's save this configuration. Most efficient method of local recording. I'm pretty comfortable saying that. So you'd have the vanilla lights as sort of light map for NPCs. I feel you. That's a really interesting idea. I like it very much. Because obviously if all the lights are E&B, then there's no flickering. That is a very ingenious solution, my friend. We should look into that. Alright, well, let's get out of here. Wonder if it's a specific post-processing effect that causes this lag. I don't know, Hazard. It's an interesting question. Here, let's use my E&B helper that I love so dearly. I love the functionality. I do not love the design. We were looking at alternatives to this. This is, frankly, one of the weirdest UIs I've ever seen, like in my whole life. So let's overwrite. Yes, please. And then we're going to remove you. And then load this bad boy. Yes, that's okay. Alright. So now we got Rudy. Let's see how that works. And because I could swear that when I was recording, we got rid of this problem. Maybe it was with Rudy, and okay, just to kind of ensure here, this will probably still say, oh, it does say full screen 1. Okay. Well, there goes that theory. Just gonna double check here. Full screen true, borderless true. Right, I mean, that won't matter while this is enabled. Okay, well, let's find out. Which NB do you like better, LE or SE NB? In terms of raw features, I think LE NBs are still a bit more advanced. Silent Horizons has a lot of stuff to play around with. But I mean, if you really like ENBs, LE is probably still your it's gonna be your favorite place to be. But I am really looking forward to not having to configure enblocal.ini for users on Special Edition, since there's no memory issues. That alone, oh my god, from a mod list author standpoint, that feature is just mwah. Anyone have recommendations for nice ENBs that aren't very demanding? Hovering around 40-ish FPS, dropped to 30 sometimes in SE. Really, I think Rudy Shepard, that's what I'm about to run here. Rudy can be adjusted. Oh, fuck. Dang it. I meant to... Hold on. Hot dang. Ugh, okay, fine. For sure it's something with OBS that is not interacting well with the ENBs. They're messing with the same DLL. Interesting. 32 gigs of RAM. 2080 Ti i9. Jeez, that is quite the processor. My processor is an i7 4790K, which is... I've gotten more longevity out of this processor than any other processor in my whole life. But it is old at this point, and it's on a motherboard. It's on a Z97 Gaming 5 motherboard. It's like 2014. And that motherboard was not exactly top of the line. The processor was top of the line at the time. Okay, hold up. Make sure we're looking. All right, that's the correct profile. So now what we're going to go and do, we're going to go ambient occlusion, full, and I actually, so if you want a good kind of performance hack, the tessellation anti-aliasing and the ambient occlusion that are included in Ultimate Skyrim, in Skyrim Special Edition by default are quite good. They are probably the best implementations of those effects that you're going to get in terms of performance bang for your buck. I quite like them. Usually what I do now is I disable ENB anti-aliasing and ambient occlusion, and that's a good way of saving quite a few frames. Oh, we have the same processor, really. I have the GPU. A 1080. Sorry, my brain is half there, as it usually is on Friday. Does Rudy work well with Obsidian weathers? Sure. I think Rudy works well with just about anything. Obsidian is beautiful. One thing that annoys me about Rudy is the ambient occlusion. Rudy's SAO easy. Yeah, 10 to 15 FPS. Trying to lower it makes it look like crap, so you have to turn it off. So just go in there and turn on, I'm telling you, turn on the regular vanilla Skyrim Special Edition ambient occlusion. And it's really, like, it looks good, and the performance cost comparatively is extremely low. So we'll pop in here. I want to see if this creates the same weirdness, recording weirdness. It sounds like it's gonna, but I swear I remember it not. The GPU, Uncle Robber. I think Skyrim is janky due to its engine. Even I struggle with solid 60 FPS modded. You can get 60 FPS modded, I mean, depending. In some areas, if you really jam-pack like a city, I feel like it's still pretty gnarly. I've not tried Ominous ENB. Specific weather mods that Rudy was designed for, I think it looks good with almost anything. Yes, that is my feel as well. Oh yeah, the 970. 970 is a great card. That's actually what I started building out Ultimate Skyrim on way back in the day. In fact, some of the what's it called? Pre-configured innies still have my 970s breadcrumb on there. But obviously a 970 in 2020 is going to be a bit rough. i7s are great, and an i7 920 for over 10 years could play almost all modern games in Ultra when I replaced it in 2018. I have not tried Rustic Weathers either, Sloth. The only SE ENBs that I've tried thus far are Rudy and Silent Horizons. Silent Horizons I'm thinking of including as kind of an Ultra preset, but I only started messing with it yesterday, and it's a question of if I can even get it to the point where I'd feel comfortable doing that. Hey, Kandu, how you doing? So we'll see. Is the game more dark fantasy style? I feel always found myself torn between Ominous and Rudy. One of the cool things about Silent Horizons is that there's actually a lot of kind of color profiles that you can choose from. out the gate, so you have a lot of what's it called? Just like easy choice, I guess, in terms of your game feel. Let's load up this bad boy. But who knows, that might not quite get there the same way that an ENB kind of designed from the ground up to have that kind of thematic feel would function. Excuse me. All right. How's the choppiness, everyone? Oh, I'm watching it. It's still choppy, isn't it? Damn, well, I guess we're boned for ENB. But here's what Rudy looks like, if you're curious. It looks pretty good, right? Here, I'll just hold still so you can see. It's fun. So, like, the preview, my normal preview is, like, this big on my monitor because I'm using 2. But I think this looks nice. It's not quite as flashy as something like Silent Horizons. It's very choopy, of course. I think it looks pretty good. So this would be like a middle-of-the-road ENB, right? Let's go ahead and do this. What we can show off, I've been working pretty hard on textures as well after the last stream. I kind of just revisited the textures from the ground up. And also I saw that Cryptoper had ported my favorite textures for landscapes and buildings, which were Amidian-borns. I wonder if going to TFC would help with the choppiness. Probably not. I mean, it's definitely an ENB thing, it seems. So, shit. That is actually super annoying. And might mean that, like Balian said, we might have to have a 2 PC streaming setup, which I just... Oh, God, I just don't want to do that. But, I mean, I'm already kind of set up for it, so it wouldn't be as bad. The choppiness, it won't matter, I don't think, if we go down to 30 FPS. See, this is fine, because I have the ENB disabled, right? But second it goes back on, now we're back to, you know, Flavortown. Dylan, do you have Cities of the North in USSE? I do not, CT. It's something that's for sure on my list. That's the one that adds, like, unique buildings, right, for all the different locations. Sure, the ENB is a killer of frame rate, but that's not what we're seeing here. Like, I'm looking in the preview. Like, the idea that it's a slideshow, that's, like, no bueno. For the actual install, no matter what ENB we have, I mean, you can disable it just like that, right? So, you just... For users who really need the extra oomph, we might say, there will be like a full-on... I mean, I'll have people install ENBs by default because you can just turn it off, like in-game, and then, you know, boom, there you go. You get all the sick FPS increase you want. But we're also going to have a potato mode. Does it go away if you turn off the effect? You're talking about the choppiness? Yes. Oh, wait. Here. You can kind of see. Oh, that's still... I mean, I'm looking at the preview. It's at least a little bit choppy. Still. Which is a little weird. Like, that doesn't look great, does it? Maybe because I'm streaming in 1440p? That's very odd. Huh. Let's try this. It could be OBS because it's having it's having to rescale the output. So let's try this, shall we? Let's do... Here. I'm going to go into my Skyrim prefs and let's make this 1080 instead and see what happens with the ENB, that is. Maybe that's why. Toggling the ENB in game is not the same as completely turning off from ENB local.ini. You mean in terms of performance hazard? Stream live, everything's running. Get it? You know ENB is nice anyway on SE. Most definitely, and also with the weather updates and whatever. But what I'm trying to do is just create a version of Ultimate Skyrim that has no graphical enhancements whatsoever. It's purely gameplay, to try and allow as many people as possible to you know, to install it. Really, Hazard, I didn't know that. That is interesting. Well, then I guess maybe for the E and B choices. Well, since it doesn't seem like it's necessary anymore on SE for, like memory management the same way it is on LE, maybe we'll include no E and B as an option. People can really hopefully push their potato PCs to the limit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, can do. Meiji was having issues with ENB and streaming and fixed it. Of course, he's not around when you need him. Oops. It would be nice to pick someone's brain. How is Requiem on SE? If you had any issues including it, you're gonna have to use the unofficial port. It's not even in there, Mike. I couldn't tell you how Requiem is on SE. I think it's the same from what I understand for people using the unofficial port, but I still haven't even bothered to put it in. Experimenting with reshade to test the performance is better than ENB. If you want to use reshade to make that game look as good as ENB, it's still got some FPS drops. Sure. Makes sense. Honestly, sometimes I run around without the ENB enabled just to see kind of what it looks like. And IMO, it still looks pretty good. It definitely looks good enough to where I would, feel comfortable with people using it, like without an ENB. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, thanks, Miami. I mean, we're doing what we can. All right, let's see here. Yeah, see, so this is with ENB on. Much smoother, right? I'm watching the preview. It looks pretty nice. Woo. How we doing, everyone? Hey, hop. And I'm like playing in like a little tiny. So okay, so there you go. There's a big issue, is that rescaling the output from 1440p to 1080 was a problem. Interesting. All right, well, now that we know that, let's try out Silent Horizons again, shall we? I was going to say, I'm almost sure that we fixed this. Or at least got it running better. All right, that's cool. Let's do this. Where's my sick-ass ENB reshade manager? Okay, so now we're going to swap to Silent Horizons. I don't know if I have to remove these first or if I have to load this one. And it'll overwrite everything. So we got that. And this is going to still have ambient occlusion on, I think. So we'll see. Yeah, so Rudy looks really good. Silent Horizons I do think looks really, really good too. I think it arguably looks better. I was testing it last night just kind of while I was waiting for the Wabjack stuff. And it's, I don't know, I would like to see more kind of environments and lighting and times of day and stuff with Silent Horizons. And it's definitely an FPS killer, that's for sure. Hey, Drew. But yeah, so I think Rudy will be, absolutely fine for the majority of people. And I wouldn't even bother including like other profiles if it weren't going to be so simple to include stuff like, pre-configured ENB managers and other tools with Wabbajack, which it really is. The best part of releasing 4.0.7 thus far for me has been just getting a feel for how Wabbajack does things and kind of familiarizing myself with that process and what it takes to build out, an installation in Wabbajack. And it can do a lot of really cool stuff that is on a technical level very exciting. The idea of, including like game folder files that I can just have people easily copy over. Frankly, I might ask one of our resident developers, Ring Comics, to revisit some of his work on the Azura Star installer, because I'm thinking, after having done Wabajack now, and kind of figuring out how it does things, I'm thinking it may be possible to push the easy install even further and have like a secondary utility that runs after the Wabajack install that handles even more of the kind of manual processes that still remain, the very few that still remain. We'll see. I don't know if he'll be up for it. I'll check out Ominous as well. And see, it's like all of those. I'm trying to avoid things becoming too overwhelming or confusing for users, especially because with the additional performance profiles and with the additional kind of accessible installs, the whole kind of shtick here is accessibility, right? And trying to make this thing usable for as many users as possible. Okay, so depth of field turned off. I do. So here's Silent Horizons. You can see it's more intense for sure than what's it called, Rudy, but I just think it looks really nice, and it's in subtle ways. It's like things like the anisotropic filtering are really solid, and there's like these subtle kind of sharpening effects on like textures. Like from a distance, for example, these landscape textures look really good to me. It's just really nice. There's also MCM automation. That's a whole other separate beast. That's the holy grail to me. What very few things would still remain after Wabajack? So you have to, like things like the EMB files, right? Because Wabajack, like Automaton, it virtualizes, or it installs the files within MO2, which virtualize the data folder, but not the root game folder. You still have to install root game folder files like ENB files, manually. But those could, in theory, be handled by an installer. Yeah, so the textures that you're seeing here are basically a combo of Midian-Born's landscapes, and also, I mean, these are majestic mountains, and they're like the north face or something like that. It's kind of a mixture of these two mountains mods, but most of the landscape textures you're going to see are Midian-Born, whose work it's Cabal, right? I just love it, and I always have. It's really close to what we still have on Legendary Edition, even. And I've always loved them. I just think they look really good for the world, and they fit really well. And then the other mod that we have running is... I thought that chicken was coming after me for a second. The other mod that we have running is Skyrim Realistic Overhaul, which probably does the best job of any texture mod out there, in my opinion, of maintaining the vanilla feel, right? Oh, is that also a bandit? Why do you guys not have weapons? Gotcha. What's up?
I'm on my way to Windhelm to join up with the Stormcloaks. Ulfric has the right of it.
Alright. The EMB on the folder probably... the Wabajack packs have it. Sure. So there's a couple different options that are kind of, Ooh, it still looks like I'm getting kind of depth of field. Look at this fucking beautiful water. It's beautiful. Also, so the grass that I have running here that I'm kind of experimenting with is, I need to turn on the any depth of field. The grass is Vedozabram, which I'm not sure if I like it better than Verdant, but it is really cool, like in and of itself. The author of Vedozabram has been working really, really hard, continuing to develop the mod. Its kind of primary claim to fame is that it really tries to differentiate the grasses and the flora by region, so that you end up with very different looking flora based on where you are, like the different biomes. Oh, the other thing that I have installed right now is one of Matthew's, not Skyrim 3D trees, but Skyrim 3D landscapes, but just the plants. That one I'm still kind of iffy on. I think Verdant is a little more demanding, if I remember. It can be. It really depends on how you configure it. Here, let's go to Whiterun. I started to say this. MCM stuff. For MCM automation, you have to edit globals for some mods. For others, you have to edit the scripts. Right, that's what I was going to say, is that we actually use both methods for some MCM automation. The goal here with MCMs, like having pre-configured MCMs is really the holy grail of accessibility. The idea that users don't have to dive into an in-game menu and, you know, fuck around with a bunch of weird esoteric settings. It's something that most modders have wanted for a very long time. And the goal is to, like, you can theoretically automate almost every MCM, if not every MCM, even ones that have to be, you know, kind of auto-started and edited that way. It theoretically would be possible to grab everything. It's just that you're creating a maintenance nightmare for, you know, any instance in which a mod is updated and then you have to re-implement your script changes on the new version. So it's just a giant pain in the ass. So one of the options that we've seen in recent years is like Yield MCM, right? Is a really good one. It's kind of a profile saver for MCMs. I know that the author continues to work on it. I believe it's still in active development. It doesn't cover every single mod. There are some mods that don't register super well, but using a mod like that to automate as much as possible could significantly reduce the overhead for MCM configuration that has to be manual on our end, right? Yeah, see, Peon's talking about it right here. And what Hazard's talking about is exactly what I'm talking about. Also, tell me this doesn't look fucking gorgeous, right? Like, it looks beautiful, if you ask me. It's nuts. Now, this is not obviously supposed to be this way. It's because we have some edits that are not working. Or some conflicts, rather. Hello. This is one of the populated NPCs for sure. God, someone needs to go in there and edit that base NPC. Look, Hilda, with her weird hairstyle. But yeah, I think this looks really, really nice. So here's what we can do, because I've been meaning to do this myself. So like, I went through and I really tried to give the textures some attention and, like I said, make them kind of feel appropriate. Hopefully I've kind of gotten it thus far. Someone above, I'm sorry I missed it, I can't see who said it now, but someone noted how Vedozabram maybe doesn't match up with ground textures super well. And that's something that we'd have to watch out for sure. I think Verdant generally does a good job of that. Between grass mods and the frame rate, have you seen the mod Grass FPS Booster BP? It works with any grass mod. I don't know if I have Peon. Yeah, so I think this looks really good. Just to kind of give you guys like a point of reference, what we'll do is we'll save here. And I'll pop in Rudy, and you can kind of see what it looks like in the same kind of a setup. Textures plus EMB look great right now, by the way. It was Peon, everyone, who reminded me of Skyrim Realistic Overhaul, because I'd forgotten it. But yeah, so really what I'm trying to do now is just, in fact, you know what, here's something. Well, okay, for the sake of not getting too fancy, if we want to directly compare, I won't change anything in between. But like Skyrim Realistic Overhaul is kind of a possibility now, specifically because Wabbajack can grab files from, you know, what's it called, from non-Nexus sources. I know that that was one of the next features that Meth had planned for Automaton when he paused development on it. So it's certainly possible. It just, you know, you got to code it out. That's the technical term, I believe. You just got to code it out. All right, so let's pop Rudy in there. Excuse me. Oh, God. Guys, I'm going to have Jack in the Box after this. Let me open up this heckin' Skyrim Special Edition mod as well. Grass FPS Booster. Ooh. Interesting. I was going to say, it sounds like grass on steroids. Unevenly distributing, all without worrying about FPS. Boost your FPS outdoors. Very, very interesting. I'm looking at this, by the way, for anyone who's not aware. Oh. There we go. Oh, well, getting the Jack in the Box tacos at 2 a.m. Oh, the classic maneuver. Jack in the Box has one of the most varied fast food menus that there is out there. I don't have Jack in the Box very often, but, you know, it's pretty good. I got it. The reason I'm going to have it is because it was cheap on Uber Eats. Direct comparison, remember. Yes. So that's why I didn't change anything, plot. I was tempted. I was going to swap out some mountain textures because I've been experimenting with those too. But this is going to be a direct comparison between Rudy and Silent Horizons, and you guys can kind of see what the dealio is. Although, actually, I forgot to disable the ambient occlusion for Silent Horizons, I think. Topic of FPS. Are you aware of this? What is that, Monique? Yosi on another slightly different topic. You know, SKSE got updated. Uh-oh. I did not know that, Yosi. Load. Look at this bad boy. Wow. FPS stabilizer. Interesting. Okay, so here we go. Comparatively, here's Rudy. It seems to be about the same frames. It's kind of hard to compare those sometimes. My ambient occlusion is off. This is my kind of like edited version. So, I mean, I still think it looks nice. And I think it would be perfectly adequate, you know, for like a kind of standard ENB. But there is a certain kind of washed out feel to it comparatively. I don't know if you guys kind of know what I mean. It's maybe you call it less saturated. It's not quite as sharp, I guess. I mean, there might be like a sharpening effect. Quick glance at it, I think it changes any settings to keep frames high while in game. Interesting. Sven's Mother and River was strange. I booted up The Sims earlier. Made me laugh how many hair assets are taken in the Skyrim mods. Oh yeah, especially hair, Miami. This is why it's important to go through and change up all the NPCs. Also, her hair is purple, although I guess that's kind of appropriate for some old ladies. Yeah, so I do think this looks nice, and I'm sure that you could edit it with like some sharpening effects and whatever. Silent Horizons it's gnarly, you know. It's a really nice ENB. There's a lot of crazy features. It's definitely more performance intensive, but I don't know. I think it might be worth it.
Yes.
Was that Tolfdir at the entrance? Sure as hell looks like him, doesn't it? It's not. It's Jorun the Willful, everyone's favorite character. Is that who is that, man? Yeah, it's just this is a random
Yes.
freaking populated NPC. There's a lot of population mods for NPC in cities. Everything is great in non-popular areas and indoors. Man, those cities can drop like 20 frames. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What ENB are you testing? This is Rudy. This is my customized Rudy that doesn't have any ambient occlusion. So the ambient occlusion you're seeing here is the game's version. Same thing as like the tessellated anti-aliasing. There is a slight drawback in that when you're moving around, things can look a tad fuzzy. There's not really a better way of describing it that I know of. But I think it generally looks really good. And it does a really good job of anti-aliasing at a much lower cost comparatively. You can see these 3D trees and whatnot. What's up, bud?
Yeah.
So it's like there's some 3D trees that are a little different from vanilla. I'm still kind of experimenting with this. This is Matthew's. It's not his like full-on 3D trees mod, but you get some nice things like these willows and things like that. They do look nice, and I think it really shines in terms of like the foliage that it adds, or things like lily pads and such. It's all good until your AI overhaul drives your 100 NPC horde into one inn, and that absolutely happens. 3D trees are amazing, one of the best graphical mods I ever downloaded. Oh, what's up, dude? Nice miss. I wasn't even paying attention. You got the drop on me. Shot you in your face. Look at all these easy-ass bandits. I'm gonna get you. Oh, wow. Oh, I missed. There he goes. Bye. So, yeah, here you go. Looks quite nice, right? But I do like Silent Horizons quite a lot. Let's go ahead and make a save, and we'll pop back in. I'm going to pop Silent Horizons in, and I'm going to adjust a couple things here. Love how alive it looks. Really feels like you're wandering into a real populated land. That is the goal, Miami. Just to make the world dynamic and unpredictable. Kind's grass is another option, mixture of other grass mods. So let's take a look at these real fast. Where's this guy? And you come over here as well. SSE FPS stabilizer. Changing any settings between predefined 10 levels from your config values prevents crazy FPS changes during the game. Which was only caused by looking at some especially useful ultra trees didn't do a lot. Console command feature runs a console command automatically when the game is open. This is wild. Is there like a video? Like anyone do? Oh, here we go. And this is a... Oh, this is gonna be loud. Oh, oh, damn. This is a fairly recent video, too.
Okay.
3D trees isn't my thing. So the default... Alright. I preferred the 3D trees that Matthew had before with the almost like pipe cleaner style pine needles, right? That everyone complained about, apparently. So he changed them a little bit. I actually did like how they were before. I still think they look really good. And I know that he made a lot of edits to the performance. So like 3D trees alone is very good still. That mod that I'm using there, it's not 3D trees. It is 3D landscapes, which somewhat ironically does contain quite a few trees itself. So I'm trying to see if I want to stack this one in alongside regular enhanced vanilla trees. Just because there's so many nice just plants and stuff that it adds, but I am going to kind of disable it, in fact, right now, just while I remember, just to kind of see what it looks like without it. And the other thing that I wanted to do, where is my install Majestic Mountains dark side? So I wanted to take off this north side edit and see what the Majestic Mountains dark side look like by themselves. And then we are going to turn on in Bethany. Couldn't you add another cell to the inns and direct most NPCs to idle there? What you talking about, Yosi? Hold on, I missed some stuff. I was running into an issue where I had too many NPCs. AI was breaking, people would just T-pose. Yeah, so there actually is a fix for that, Shepard. There is I'll show it to you. Hold on. Refresh. Gameplay. No. Details. We're going to turn on depth of field. And then we're going to save it. Basic. Save and exit. Right? Let's see how this goes.
Alright, I just wanted to make a quick...
I hope I don't get demonetized for this.
This is about a mod that I put to stabilize my FPS And what's crazy about this? All right, that's Dar.
Okay, can we see how it works?
Especially with my axe, you can see how I'm holding my axe. Then you see Kaiden here holding his.
Oh, this is like the animations, dude.
Skyrim, right? But for the most part, in most areas, especially in dungeons, it holds up to its name. It does the correct thing. But what's crazy about this mod?
There's some weird stuff. What is this weird? Do you guys see that?
What's crazy about this mod is that, yes, it'll hold the FPS up, but there's this bug with Skyrim.
Okay, I don't think that this is quite the showcase that we're looking for. I can mess around with it on my own time just to check it out. It seems like it's going to take some configuration. This one's interesting to me. So is this just kind of like grass on steroids? I know it said it's inspired by it. Huh. Does it say the methodology? Not quite sure. I will definitely kind of take a look at this one, though. Okay, back we go. So the innies are changed. Oh, I'm going to swap back to Silent Horizons. That was the other thing. Oops. Shamo. There we go. Remove. It's like this interface, it works perfectly fine once you, like, it's functional once you know how to use it. It's just it's not in like, these are buttons, and you can tell like when you hover over them that they're buttons, and like there's a lot of like these buttons kind of like I would think that delete here was like delete, you know, because like these ones are buttons, functions that apply to your data folder. This is a button that applies specifically to the app itself, or like it removes this profile. So it's like these two are kind of the same functionality as this one down here. It's just, and like you have set 1, set 2. It's like set 2 just goes 11 through 20, whereas set 1 is 1 through 10. So you almost figured that would be better served by like just scrolling down or like clicking next page or something. It's just like very weird UI design. A little confusing. Manager also changed the ini settings, like your profile ini settings within MO2. Works for a dozen grass mods. Stabilizing mods great for my 144 hertz monitor. It's targeted set 144 min of 60 FPS. Works great. Interesting. Mod is great. Video is, I forgot I had a presentation today and had to make up some crap to fill out 10 minutes. Yes. I mean, that's basically what my dev streams are, more or less, but that's why I try to advertise them as such. It's essentially like stream of consciousness. I think, I don't know, that video strikes me more like, I don't know if that person makes YouTube videos kind of, you know, for like trying to attract users. It's more just like, kind of strikes me as the kind of person where it's like, oh, I noticed this cool thing, like, here, you guys want to come check it out, like, here it is. It's not so much like a targeted video, you know what I mean? Or if it is, then yeah, you're probably best suited kind of showcasing the thing that's in the title quickly. Okay. So I got grass, I got the mountain textures, I turned off ambient occlusion, or turned on ambient occlusion. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So run, and then I believe that ambient occlusion will still be on in Silent Horizons. So we'll see what it looks like with it off. See what kind of presentation, God, what kind of performance we get. So I would like to include an ENB manager pre-configured with the SE install, and maybe route people through it. I was thinking about this, but maybe route people through it by default so they can choose that way. Either no ENB or, you know, one of the ENBs. I'll kind of just name them like medium high. I want for the SE install, I want to make it possible for users to swap their performance around and kind of experiment with different performance profiles without having to, you know, reinstall the entire thing. So ideally you have one install that installs all the kind of freely switch between them if they like. That's my goal. But like it's tricky because my ultimate kind of target audience for this, ultimate, get it? Haha, is like I want to get people who are like have no experience with modding whatsoever, and I want to make it just simple as possible for them to, you know, click a couple times, click as few times as possible, and be running like just ultimate Skyrim. You know what I mean? That's my target audience for sure, is just as many people as possible. Kind of consider it like what Bethesda did in terms of accessibility for the series at large, just without sacrificing the depth of experience. Mod manager, you talking about mod organizer profiles, Lewis? In which case, that is one of the ways that I want to organize the performance for sure. It would essentially be two things. You choose an ENB and you choose your performance profile within mod organizer 2. Or, I mean, even ideally, you don't have to choose anything in Mod Organizer 2. I want to just, like, package executables so that it just runs, you know? Like, you can do that, absolutely. Like, I can include executables as is. Can't wait to download Ultimate Skyrim and throw another 200 mods on top of it. I mean, that's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are going to do exactly that. Oh, wow, these are a lot darker. They're practically blue. Well, that was interesting to see. Alright, ambient occlusion. Okay, so with that off, you still have the game's ambient occlusion. Wow, look at those blue Dark Side Mountains. I guess that you do have like a saturation thing going on here. Spamming with mods. You're looking for another ENB manager. This one looks like it has better UI. Works with MO2. Hazard found a bunch of them. Peon. I can take a look at that one, but there's other ones that we're looking at for sure. Yeah, this that ain't gonna fly. So let's see. I don't know. Even with the game ambient occlusion, it doesn't seem to do much, does it? Like, it looks flatter comparatively. Here's my my camera setup thus far for third person, by the way. Oh, you know what? Actually, hold on. I don't know if that is. Oh, no, I think so. Sup, y'all? I find myself missing those 3D trees now. Hey, Sacrolettes, how you doing? USSC will block installing additional mods. Yes. If you try to install additional mods, you'll have to speedrun Mario 64 70 star before you unlock the ability. And even then, you can only install an additional 10 mods.
Hi. Need something?
Sup, y'all?
Yes.
Are you... Yeah, I was gonna say, that's... The base NPC was edited by Calliles. Alright, well, I think I might stick either the regular Majestic Mountains or that one that we were using. Looks pretty good, honestly. Sup, Hinold? In fact, here, let's just do that right now. He's joking, Monique. Just FYI. Can you center camera third person? You mean put the camera like above the player's head and the player's centered on it? You absolutely can. I will show you what that looks like in a second. Hold up. I'm actually going to throw back on the two that I just disabled. You. And also up here. You. Excuse me. Put this here just for fun. And then also I'm going to swap out Vedozabrom real fast with Verdant. Boom. That EMB is really good. Yes, I like it a lot. It's just it's heavy. So, and you know what? Fine. If we're gonna do this, hold up. Then we'll just get rid of you. So we're not doubly tasking. That's interesting. That might be a problem. Well, we can let Rudy have its ambient occlusion, I suppose, as well. It probably will be happy about it. Wait, hold on. I finally caught a live stream watching the development on YouTube. Really excited to try the game when it's done. Thank you, Con. ESL flags to the rescue. Oh yeah, ESLs are great. I think they are fantastic. It's another real game changer, to be honest with you. I feel like I cut off Bethany there. Let's just double check, make sure that took. Detail. Yes, it did. This is such a fucking cool tool. There's so many just amazing tools. Yeah. Have you seen Believable Weapons? I have not. What's that? Believable Weapons. Oh, one of these. Oh, I like this. It's like Lean Wolves. Huh. So I ended up doing USLE, installed over 200 mods on top, installed most for texture mesh replacers. Present parts, you start running out of mergeable things, have nothing to ESL flag, and basically nothing you run compact form ID on. Oh yeah. I mean, even though there's more space, there's still a finite amount eventually. All right, so here's what we're going to do, y'all. We're going to hop in game. We're going to take a look. So I got this kind of texture loadout set up earlier this week, and I haven't done a ton of testing. I've done some, but we're basically going to walk around and just take a look at everything. Just use it as kind of like a visual showcase. I got Verdant in, I got my flippy floppies on, and we're good. Once Ultimate Skyrim is in a fully playable... That is a lot of plugins, Monique. I like how the Maces and Warhammers look. Oh, yeah. I mean, it looks really nice. I have Lean Wolves in there right now, which is similar. I don't know if it quite does exactly the same stuff. Everyone knows Lean Wolves, I'm assuming. Right? Just shortens the blade. Even these are pretty wide, though, comparatively. Whereas something like this, I'm quite partial, I must say, to these kinds of like long swords. Pretty cool. Very issues. Once Ultimate Skyrim is in fully playable state, will you be continuing the playthrough, starting a new one? I would have to. I'm still kind of figuring out what I'm gonna do with Rathan because I really like him as a character. I have the backstory all set up. I'm thinking about just rebooting the playthrough on SSE and like once it's ready to support a Wraithen playthrough, and then running back through on him, because I do like him. I think he's got a lot of potential to be a cool character, and I'd like to spend some more time with him. I will assuredly be playing more again. But right now, developing. Wasn't a big fan of believable weapons. Definitely more realistic and practical. Also a bit dull and similar looking. I could see it, Monique. It essentially turns each weapon into almost like all those long swords, for example, are almost like reskins, like retextures of each other. Hello, Faintful. Hello, Punk Chef. Tiny Volendrung just looks hilarious. Little dinky Volendrung. Okay. Boom. No. Yes. Here. No. Here. Yes. Yeah, it's fine. You guys getting weird desktop audio, or is my OBS just freaking out? As long as his bros recruit. Oh yeah, our man. Being a fan of historical realism, I love the resized weapons. Vanilla ones look like foam LARP weapons. I kind of tend towards that as well, like the realism kind of element. Guys, look how beautiful. Wow. Now here's the other thing. There's supposed to be kind of like add-ons that you can install for Silent Horizons, and I thought I did it right, but maybe not. Oh, they don't get loaded in here. That's why. What? Okay, well, I guess I got to do them manually. Okay, well, then here's what we're going to do. Sorry, I'm closing this one more time. And I installed a bunch of them, and now they're not there. That would explain why they're not showing up. Silent Horizons ENB for Equinoctium weathers. Optional. Custom overlays, depth of field, Lutoria particle field, Revolution add-on. Textures. Oh no, they're there. Well then, okay. Did I not install these correctly? Because I was trying really badly to, you know, I mean, these are all the ones that are there. So they are installed, never mind. Silent Horizons. But these were not showing up as like selectable thingies. So maybe I need to read the tutorial. I thought I did it. Textures. Is this not in there? You know what? It doesn't appear to be. Maybe that's why. No, it would be in this one. Maybe we gotta replace this? I don't know. Let's find out. Alright, I thought I did all that already. These are supposed to be kind of like hot swappable color profiles, right? In fact, you know what? Maybe I'll just do that. Well, whatever. We'll see if it works. Gotta replace swords, axes, and maces look fine. Our boy Stenvar, of course. Oh, I think he's a super likable character, and the direction his character is going really interesting. I'm glad you guys feel that way. I spent a lot of time on Wraithen, if that wasn't evidenced by the backstory exposition. It was really tricky trying to figure out how to do something like that, because, you know, normally, you know, if this were, say, like a TV show, right, you would have all of the exposition that I placed in those intro videos. Those would be, they wouldn't just all be dumped on you as like this info dump video, right? Like you would learn more about parents and, you know, the circumstances that created Wraithen and all that stuff. You would learn about it in bits and pieces as it served, you know, the pacing of the plot. But with something like, you know, a video game playthrough where you're establishing a character's backstory, so to speak, you don't really have, it's not a TV show. You can't really do that. You know, I can't have like I mean, I could edit together like cutaway sequences, perhaps, like in the Let's Play. That would probably be the most effective way to do it. If, to be honest, if I were trying to make the most engaging story Let's Play that I possibly could, that would be the way to do it. It would be to structure it like a well-written, well-paced movie or TV show where you find out more about Rathan's past and his parents' past at the most opportune moments. But I think to do something like that, that would take really so much time. Shepard, what about revealing more history with each episode of the playthrough? That's essentially what I'm talking about, where even just deciding which parts of the history, you know, would come out when, it would take a lot of effort. Maybe there's room to do something like that, like in the future. I don't know. It just, for me, I always feel like I'm torn between a million different things that I want to do. I imagine this is how a lot of creators feel with a lot of different things. But, you know, it's like I really like the Let's Plays. I would also really love to spend time on kind of like tutorial videos. I would also really like to set up a wiki for, you know, the install, like once it's out on SE. I also need to continue, like what I'd really most like to do is develop the experience more, you know, add more features, add more cool shit to the game itself. And there's just a, you know, a bunch of different things you can do at any given time. Is my FOV correct? It is. Okay, so back in we go. Let's see if that fixed. Oh no, that's working. ENB effect, Silent Horizons. Okay, well it's not. I don't understand why I'm not seeing those. Pretty sure. Unless it's somewhere. Oh, this is where it is. Okay, so I'm just dumb. You guys want to try out some different okay, here's what we'll do first. In fact, you know what, here, let's mess it. Okay, what are we thinking? How do we feel about these mountains, by the way? I think these are pretty good, right? Probably like some of the best that I've used thus far. I think they fit pretty well. What do you guys think? Mentioned Skyrim together a few months ago. Do you still think it would be possible to play? I mean, it's never been possible to play Alt Sky co-op con. It's just something that would be super cool. If ever it becomes possible. You know? You just tell us, though, don't have to make cutscenes. Yes, I mean, it's true. I could just sprinkle in exposition. But to me, I almost like the format of Season 2 as it was, because you kind of, you go in to the playthrough with all this exposition and knowing all this stuff already that kind of contextualizes it, and I feel like it makes the whole thing more engaging. I absolutely love that preset. It's the default. It's a default one, though. All right, let's try out a couple presets just real fast. See what they look like. Winter. Ooh. This looks a bit more vanilla Skyrim, doesn't it? Turn it off. Yeah, it's oranger. McSat, hey Dylan, would you consider making a $1 Patreon tier without any benefits for people on a tight budget? I want to support your amazing work, but I'm already poor, LMAO. Of course, McSat. I used to have one, and then Patreon was telling me to remove it or something, because I assume that you still could. Can't you still pledge whatever you want? You can't enter in like a specific amount? I was under the impression that that was still the case. Let's see what else we got. What about... Oh, eccentric. Dreamland. Ew. Calm. Stroll up more. Lo-fi. Old. It's like a sepia filter. It's like Instagram filters. Oh, Mud Puppy. See, the problem is these these name descriptions don't really tell me a whole lot. Like these ones do. These ones don't. Base. Kitsune cut. There we go. Look. Oh wow, look at that. Just looks like there's only red and blue and like no green. This looks like, you know what you could use this stuff for? It would be like an easy way to do like flashback sequences and stuff. Also, who was asking? Someone was asking about customizable camera being over the character. Let's do that real fast. Horizontal, go 0 and 0 and 0. I'll show you what that looks like. It's not going to look great unless we also adjust the vertical. So you do this. Look, there's me. It's pretty cool, actually. Kind of like it. And then if you go into combat, maybe do something like this. Go, vertical for melee can be, probably have to up it quite a lot, to be honest. Maybe 20. 20 here. That's probably not enough. Let's try 25. There we go. Honestly, you could do with maybe even a bit more, but that works well enough. Oh, okay, you can mix that. I thought there was a way to do it, but I mean, Patreon changes its interface like every week, so I don't know. What was this? Kitsune. This is the default. What's this one? Boom. And then this one's autumn. These are cute for sure. Nothing that I'd really want to run. I'm going to run the regular old Kitsune cut for now anyway. What's up, brah? Look at that. Alright, so why don't we run around? I think that's a cooler camera angle than I thought. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of where I default for things like, uh-oh. Oh! Fuck. Nice shot. Because he doesn't like foxes. This is closer to, like, old PC games, right? In fact, actually, let's bring this one up a little bit. Camera, maybe make that 5, and then make you guys 30. That's pretty good. 30 might be a bit high. I don't know. It's not bad. Melee. Maybe 30 is a bit high. It's hard to say. What do you guys think? These are slight adjustments. I'm actually digging 25. Customizable camera. Let's go back down. And then you can be maybe there-ish. Somebody does not care about firearm safety at all. Yeah, danger close, really. You know what the other kind of weird thing is? Because of like the stance when you're meleeed out, right? It looks almost as though it's like the camera needs to be a little offset. Customizable camera. Let's go horizontal. Maybe like, would it go this way? No, this way. Maybe like 5. Let's make sure that we're going the right way. Yeah. Okay, so that, I mean, it's a little bit too far. 3. You guys see what I'm talking about? Whoops. It's kind of like the character doesn't seem like they're over the center when I'm trying off-center Dead Space 1 kind of camera angle. Yeah, see, that would be more the one that I already have set up. You're talking about like the over the shoulder? So this is with, what's it called? Vernet Weathers. I really was enjoying Bedozabrom. But we can kind of check it out. So as you guys can see here, I mean, this is the wilderness, so there's not a whole lot for it to render, right? Oh, look out. Oh, geez, he juked me. Oh. I guess that counts as me hitting it. Not quite the best shot that I've ever had. Or technically even a connecting shot at all. But, you know, I'll take it. think this is a pretty cool angle. Maybe even here. Customizable camera. Here's what I'll do. I will take this, maybe 2, 2. This one seems fine at 0. And then... See, this is... I get, like, endlessly swept up in tweaking things like this. This seems a little high. Wouldn't mind trying offset. There's an archery fix for that. That's the... Any fixes that you're talking about, I think, Esteban, those are already in. I think I just missed. That just wasn't a good shot on my part. Vertical. Maybe here-ish. Or maybe just 0, straight up. 5, 25. How do we feel about that? Yeah, I think it needs more. This is what everyone came here to see, right? Is me just endlessly tweaking camera settings. I do stuff like this, though. See, there's combat. Oh, it just reset. Sometimes it does that, which is not ideal. This is more, it's like older games, like Nice and Close with the FOV up enough so the world, even third person, looks large and to scale. Yeah, well, so that's how I have it set up by default. What's up, guys? I'm going to go ahead and just... Whoa! Nice dodge. Or miss. Miss is the word I'm looking for. So I'll show you what that looks like. Let me go ahead and save this, because I actually do quite like this profile. It's pretty good. Vertical. Call that 10. Put you at 30. You at 30. Profiles and help. Save profile 2. Okay, and then this is the one, the kind of the over the shoulder that I have currently set up. Caught up on a rock. Gotcha. You can swap camera angles pretty easily. You swap to this, and then when you're in explore mode, it's like this. What do you think? Look, a horse. My horse now. My horse now. What's up? So yeah, I mean, I guess at this point, just visual showcase. Oh, did you guys say what you thought of the mountain textures? I think these are pretty good, right? Am I wrong? That offset is bothering me now. I guess it's not on there. It's the same. Whoa. I really wish I could turn my camera all the way around. Oof. Jeez. Nice shot. Hello. Real names is what adds the names to random NPCs. Yes. So they are random NPCs, Shepard. They are just renamed. Is this a bandit? Are you a bandit? Are you a hunter? Don't know. So yeah, this is a visual showcase. What we're looking for is just making... Oh, there's our favorite camera reset bug. We're just making sure everything looks good together, right? Hard to tell with textures. I don't think we're getting a 1080p image. Are you not? You should. I believe it's not rescaling. Or maybe it's rescaling to 720p? Just maybe if you can't see the specific textures, it's more just the general feel that we're looking for. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to pop in, because I know what Verdant looks like. I'm going to pop in Vedozabram again. Because I know Verdant, I don't know Vedozabram. So I figure if I'm going to ride around and test these, I might as well just take a look at Vedozabram. Vedozabram. Yes. Ah, I always forget to blink. Oof. Also, you want to see a weird bug? Look. Missing masters. Old Sky ESP. It's not actually missing a master. It doesn't, that's not a master of Old Sky ESP. Look, if I refresh, look, it's gone away. What the H? That's so cool. If I added it to inconsequential NPCs, it wouldn't change any functionality, just add names. That is correct. I believe it works from like a text repository. So it looks for certain words, and then any NPCs that have those words in their names, it'll adjust their names. So no functionality changes whatsoever. It can fuck with certain types of mods, and that's why we ditched it originally. Like, for example, Your Market Stall was something that was a hard incompatibility, but Your Market Stall, I decided I would rather have real names because I think it's really cool. I like all the characters having real names. As for the mods that I have that add Wanderers, there are quite a lot. I focused on that pretty hard. That's probably the biggest feature that the SE version, even the initial build, will have that the LE version does not, is that there are a lot more characters all around the world. You have improved populated series. There's MINPCs. There's like followers and something else that adds some. There's quite a few. Suppose if it looks good for us now, it'll look even better when we get our hands on it. Oh, maybe. Miami. We're generally just looking, like I said, at the feel. Like, trying to make sure that everything fits well together. So even if you can't see the specific, like, sharpness of the textures, we're going with a general art design here. You guys like the sounds of me swallowing water? What time is it? 2 o'clock. Oh, I got freaking Mixad. I just got your Patreon notification. Thank you. I got heckin' all kinds of messages. What? Oh boy. Guys, you know what's really good? Politics. Stop myself before I start messing with my mod list again. Just keep playing this mod list until Alt Sky SSE is out. You can mess with 4.0.7 when it releases, Shepard, in 30 minutes from now. Is the time when it's going to release. It's not true. Don't listen to me. Okay. Vedozabrom. Vedozabrom, we're looking at 3D landscapes. We're looking at the various textures. And just making sure everything looks delicious together. My voice just cracked a little bit. Oops. Just took a screenshot. So you can tell these grasses are supposed to be a bit different than like the ones that you'll find in Verdant. What goes on over here? Hello? Who decided at Bethesda that this was a suitable, like, camera angle? Just your horse's ass. Just straight up there. What's up, guys? Excuse me. I believe anything when it aligns with what I want. Of course. Literally quit Skyrim since you started this and waiting patiently for your masterpiece instead. Oh, that's very sweet of you to say, Miami. I will do my best to deliver. Look at these beautiful... Oh, this grass looks a little weird. Or sparse. What's up? Oh, ow. Rough hit there. Problem is I really like Verdant. I mean, it fits. It's just, it's like weirdly sparse. I wonder why. Is it because we're using a different grass setting? Witcher 3 has the best horse riding of any game. Friend, I would like to introduce to you Red Dead Redemption 2. Easily, inarguably best horse riding of any game ever to feature horses. This is strange. I feel like it's supposed to be denser than this. Boom. Gotcha, baby. Models playthrough at it. So many new ones won't set hard to touch within the game beyond reach. Yes, Witcher 3 probably took the cake up until Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes, it is. Just if we're talking pure, like as a game, it's a cinematic game, right? It's more of an Uncharted than it is, a sandbox game, like a lot of other games, or even like The Witcher 3. What's up, y'all? But inarguably best horse riding that there has ever been. This is weird. We got some rain. I mean, this is not conflict resolved at all. Stop hurting me and my horse. Stop. There's no rain sounds. That's weird. So this looks... I swear this is supposed to be kind of fuller. Let me take a look. The textures look good, at least. I mean, and don't get me wrong, Red Dead Redemption 2 is a fantastic game, and I love it. It's a fantastic experience. I'm actually close to finishing it myself. I need to kind of just buckle down and do that. I would recommend it to anyone who enjoys cinematic games and also who is interested in kind of like game... what's a good way of putting it? Game fidelity, I guess. Not so much game design. It's fairly boilerplate as far as open world games go, and there's arguments to be made that its design kind of falters in some areas purely in terms of gameplay. There's also some exceptional moments, but in terms of creating a world that looks realistic and believable and whatever, I mean, it's Rockstar. They do that better than almost anyone else. And again, I say looks, realistic. The game world itself is not particularly dynamic. It's very static. It's responsive in some ways, in that like NPCs and stuff will generally respond realistically to the things you do in the moment. But of course, there's no greater web that you can impact. It's all kind of for show. But it still looks really good, for whatever it's worth. Okay. Vedozabram, come to me. So yeah, I mean, that should do it. I should kind of overwrite. What is my grass here? Grass. So there actually isn't even any... Is it in here? Skyrim Mini? Grass? I know they both have entries. Here we go. Allow load grass. What is that? Texture. I'm in grass size 70. If I change this to 50, is that going to matter? Let's find out. I believe that Vedozabram is instituting its own, though. Like the skinning system in RDR2. Imagine putting animations like that in Hunterborn. Yes! Going with a dedicated YouTube playthrough using Old Sky SE after being inspired by the likes of you and Grandma Shirley to run an RP series. Hell yeah, Miami Nights. There you go. Like skinning in RDR2. Like we're going to get sort of close with Hunterborn combined with hunting in Skyrim, since hunting in Skyrim adds those really cool kind of skinned models for all the animals. But it just... you're never, ever going to beat like Red Dead or Rockstar in terms of animation fidelity. They do it just better than anyone. Maybe like Naughty Dog with like Last of Us and those kinds of things. Uncharted. They're kind of, what's it called? Also leaders in the field. But just you can't beat them in terms of animations. Verdance has his own any for grass density. I know, because 2 years ago I had to lower the density because I freaking see things. Yes, it makes sense. I mean, so does Vedozabram. It's just 50 is pretty dense. It's kind of strange that it is there, what we're seeing. Like the lower the number is, the more dense the grass is. Think about defensive spells like Oak Flesh. I feel like they should be continually channeled instead of one-time cast. I mean, I like that better, Con. We've kind of evaluated some options. Magic in general is just a very tricky thing to balance. I would almost prefer, at least if we keep the system where magic regenerates the same way that stamina does. in that sense, if we keep a system where magicka regenerates, in which case, frankly, I think it should regenerate faster than it currently does in combat. Then what you'd want for that is you'd want it something like Path of Exile, which may be kind of what you're talking about. Hey, Connor. That would be where you cast the spell and it just locks out a certain amount of your magicka as long as it's active. So it's kind of a maintenance cost, I suppose you could say. Hey, Ron, what's up? Yeah, Verdant defaulted to 60. That was way denser screen, so who knows what's going on. It would just be the implementation of the grass. So I'm assuming, I'm just checking this for posterity's sake. I'm assuming that when I load back in here, it's going to be pretty much exactly the same. Fur tents are very warm, but leak when it rains. Makes sense. Yeah, so it's the same. And I bet you... Let's do this then. It's a whole lot of much ado about nothing just to see the grass density. But when I do this... Boom, boom. Plop this bad boy in. Put it here. And look, now it thinks Skyrim. Oh, nope, it refreshed. Ultimate Skyrim. It's like the weirdest bug I've ever seen. I've never seen Mod Organizer. It like something must be cached somewhere where it thinks Ultimate Skyrim.esp is missing a master, but it's not. I'm telling you. Make it more of an active choice instead of maintenance every time you enter battle. Yes, that's the part that I don't like. I don't like just having to like... I've never liked having to kind of recast buffs. The trade-off is that if you like... for whatever reason they become uncast and you kind of forget because you're used to them having them on. But I mean, if you had to remember that, you got to remember to cast them anyway, and they just last for like 60 seconds. It's just annoying. It just creates like tedious kind of management. It's not fun to me. I'd rather just, you know, it's like a warrior doesn't have to deal with that stuff. Just run. Just really a lot of graphical kind of exhibition. That's what we're doing at the moment. I have kind of a new graphic setup that I'm testing. Whoa. In terms of E&B and also in terms of textures. I spent some time this week while I was working on the Legendary Edition release. Just kind of tweaking some visual elements of the install, seeing what it would look like. And now I'm just kind of going through. I figured this might make for suitable stream kind of gameplay. Love the idea of continuous buffs blocking out a portion of your magicka. Be more convenient and more sense. Is that really possible to do in Skyrim? It's absolutely possible. The difficult part would be representing it through the interface. Like you would just have an active effect that reduced, you know, like maximum magicka by a certain amount, or something like that. The issue for like as long as the active effect is happening. The issue is that you would then end up, the health bars would not represent the missing portion of magicka, we'll say. The way that at least the default health bars, ironically, the health bars added by the UI extensions, like the ones that you get for like, you know, your followers and stuff, those ironically perform better in this way, in a sense. In that, let's say your total maximum magicka is 100, and you have an active effect that is reducing your maximum magicka by 30, we'll say. The UI extension bars will actually show. Yeah, see, here's Verdant. Those distant textures might need some adjusting, but you can see it's a lot denser off the bat. You wouldn't have your magicka bar like the one that you see down in the bottom left would think that it would treat 70 as your new maximum, so you wouldn't have like a visual representation of how much you are actually losing out on or in your active effects window, right? So here's Verdant, classic Verdant, beautiful. It'd be easier if you just continually drain a set amount. You need to make sure it's draining less than you regen. You could do that too. That might make the visual representation bar easier. Oh, look at that. A literal vampire or a gargoyle. Ow. Stop, please. That's my horse. Boom. Stop. Alright, you guys have fun. See you. What's going on over here, huh? I don't feel like riding around on this horse. I want to get up close and personal with this world that we're traveling amongst right now. Not sure I'm in love with this texture for the color, ow, of these grasses. I can probably change that. That's, I guarantee, a, here, oh, hey, what's up, dude? Huh? Huh? Oh, that's so, okay. Ow. Gotcha. You're dead. I'm gonna... Is this the same texture as this one? It looks like it. It is, I think. Okay, hold on a second. Can you not, please? You... Texture set. Texture set 8. Tundra 01. Okay. Okay. You know what? Hold on a second. Quick Alt-Tab. There are fights everywhere. Yeah. How do you deal with it covering up corpses and items and such? Well, you can always use your what is it called? Your, in fact, actually, you know, this is, I'm thinking about the magic. That's a good idea. Shepherd, having it. Wait, who said that? No, sorry, Khan. The draining set amount. You actually might have just figured that out. Can you turn off magic regen at a certain number below maximum? Can you turn off magic regen at a certain number below magic? Okay, before I get myself confused here. Verdant's so pretty. How do you deal with it covering up corpses? You can use the sense ability through Campfire if you like. Campfire, I believe, adds it. Instincts. I think I've caught a... Wait, what? I've been following the guide on the website for pre-installation stuff. I think I've caught a virus. That's definitely not true, Howie. Unless you somehow clicked like an ad or something somewhere. But the SKSE preloader plugin is not a virus, for sure. Can you turn off Magicka regen at a certain number below maximum? I don't quite understand the question, Jeff. Also, I want to check this. Let me go Bedozabrom. Is this the one that included textures to go along? Regions. Regional vegetation pack. No, that's not it. Okay, never mind. Say regen to say 80 out of 100 and then stop. Have max Magicka 100 but would stop filling. You're trying to solve the UI kind of explaining issue. Maybe. That would be an interesting way. I don't know. That's an interesting idea. Because then you essentially have that same concept. I'm going to write that down. You guys are brilliant. You know that? I never know. It's like when CT came in here with his lighting idea. You guys sometimes have ideas that I'm just so impressed by. Let's check it out. It's my handy dandy notebook. Let's say idea for what do we call it? Magic maintenance spells. Showing in the UI. Maybe add condition whereby magic, God, my handwriting's terrible, does not regen past a certain number 80 out of 100. The problem there, though, as I'm imagining it, is that that would work if there was only one, like, maintenance spell to worry about, right? I think. So, like, for example, let's say Mage Armor. If we have another maintenance spell, the effects would somehow need to be additive, where, like, they, like, both spell, like, let's say, you know, Mage Armor is 20 or it would stop at 80 out of 100, and then Muffle would stop at 80 out of 100 as well. So that's a 20 kind of maintenance cost for each spell. There would need to be a way to have an additive recognition there, where the two spells would, like, the effects of both would add to each other, and then the game would recognize that with these both added, there would be what's it called? It would add to 40. You could add to the same variable in theory. It could, Jeff, but now if you're introducing variables like that, now you're talking about a script versus something like the simple conditions. So it's possible, potentially. It's an interesting idea for sure. I just wish that there was, like, some sort of UI way of representing it. If, like, probably the simpler implementation would be what Khan was saying, where, you know, you have just an associated drain, right? So your magicka continues to regenerate as normal. It just regenerates more slowly based on what active effects you have. So that is a solution as well. But I really like the idea of having that, like, max magicka blocked. You can make a global that they both increase. Potentially, Elroy. Got a weird little pop-up saying WinRare spotted a virus and multiple windows on the desktop started opening and closing. I was like, today's been... WinRare is not a... That's strange, Howie. You might want to check, just scan your computer for viruses, because that sounds like you have viruses, but nothing that, you know, you'll find on the Nexus would should do that, any of that. Sakura says, I make Muffle a concentration spell, so you need to keep casting it to have it active. I feel you, Sacrilete. So is that also intended to prevent you from doing other things at the same time that you're muffling, right? So you can't, like, have Muffle and then also end up print screen, also end up, you know, casting a spell or shooting an arrow or some such. Will you guys fuck off, please? I don't have time for you. Blah. Gotcha. So this is definitely a Medianborn's Tundra. Does not quite match up with this grass. It's strange to me that Vedozabram had... What's it called? Oh my god, Connor, you gotta... Jesus, dude. Thank you for all the gifted subs. What is that, 6? Everyone say massive thank you to Connor. Everyone sing him a song. Elsif. My bad. See, this one's okay. It's the Tundra. Ah, what beautiful, beautiful day we've stumbled upon. My gosh, everyone say a big thank you to Connor. Say thanks, Connor. Why is that so green? Also, yeah, let's go to the reach. Exterior 01. Love a proper mod which allows me to cast spells while wielding a bow with proper casting animations. Oh yeah. Thank you very much, Connor. Sacroletus, did you respond to the question about the... Whoa. What the intent was. I scrolled, or the chat scrolled past. See, I like this one too, but I don't think it necessarily matches Verdance. Not if it's going to be this, this bright. It's very pretty, though. Very colorful. Let's see what nighttime looks like. Set time scale to, I don't know, 1,000. Thank you so much, Connor. Oh. Ooh, wow. Look at that. Holy shit, that's a beautiful sunset. Oh, it's nighttime. For the Empire, of course. Look at that. And like that slight kind of like refraction from the E&B. It's so nice. Now let's see if I turn off E&B, how many frames do I get? Oh, actually not that many. Pretty good. Is he going in there? Nope, just patrolling. I think I see him. ADB, you have something like Birds of Skyrim and saw it makes the wilderness feel so alive. So I experimented with Birds of Skyrim, and it's I like it. Is that the one that adds the actors? Which one is that, or the fake effects? Because if it's the fake effects, I might add that one. It's just like it gets a little wonky, and some of the birds are like, you know what I mean? But I can't, because there's like 3, and they all do different things. Sloth Ninjas, I see a message about mage armor. No, I did not. What was it, Sloth? I love the darkness is still Horizon. It is Horizon, Peon.
On your way up the 7,000 steps again?
Yeah. It's like you guys are really having this conversation here now. Here's what it looks like if it's completely clear.
Greybeard's expecting some surprise.
Wow.
Honestly, I'm not certain. I've yet to be allowed in.
That's without any particular night sky texture. But this is what nighttime looks like. It's very pretty. Now set game hour to 12. Oh shit, now it's raining again. No. No. There we go. Now beautiful again. Alright, let's try out with... Who's this lady? Scary. I really need to fix that core NPC. Okay, save. Now Vedoza Braum. Muffle and vanilla to be too powerful. You just cast and forget about it. When I'm casting, I can still wield a weapon in the other hand. Oh yeah, good point. Fake effects on the sky. Sky birds. Birds of Skyrim is the one. Yeah, real birds, right. But are they the ones that... Don't they also like clip through the ground and stuff? Right, and the models do lower the performance. But I've seen there's like a red bird, like a cardinal that I always see when I had it installed, and I just like I see them take off, and then I watch them fly right into like a cliffside, like every time, and just phase right through it. Love it. I imagine chilling outside and in at night, listening to the rain while my followers relax, some meat inside after a hard day's travel. See, that's the kind of shit that I love Miami, and it's funny you mentioned that, because what I try to do whenever possible is to kind of like marry roleplay and gameplay, and I've wanted in some cases to, I think that was fixed, depends on how long ago you tried it. That was only like a month ago, 2 months ago. Time is a flat circle in quarantine, can't say. But I'll check it out right now just to see if it's been updated. I wanted to add maybe like a, like a campfire style kind of inspiration, or like some sort of active effect you get from just like chilling under an awning and like listening to the rain. But, it's one of the, it's possible maybe, like how do you implement it in like a semi-balanced way, right? Birds of Skyrim. SSE edition. Yeah, last update 2017. I last downloaded it on 26th of April 2020, so that's definitely I mean, it is cool. I do like it. But it's like, let's see if I can find them. Or like those kingfisher birds that are always like landing on stuff. Good vibes, +5 speech skill. Yeah, or something like that, That's a good idea, Connor, actually. Let's go back to Bedozabram. Also, data, Tundra 01. Textures, landscape. Right, so let's try this. I'm going to hide you guys. Let SRO take care of that for now. Guys, look, it thinks missing masters. Nope. You're wrong. I've never seen a bug like that before. I don't know what the H. Like immersion mods, when they are wonky, it totally ruins for me. Like everything being polished. Absolutely Faintful. That's like half the impetus behind, you know, Ultimate Skyrim. Like there's certain things that doesn't seem like we'll ever be able to fix. Like, you know, NPCs occasionally like walking weirdly into something, or, you know, I mean, like nav meshes you can fix, but like it seems like sometimes on activators, NPCs will end up accidentally standing on the thing they're trying to use, like some things like that. But if there's things we can control, like for example, birds not flying into cliff faces, then I try. Other stuff like touring carriages on paper fits into Old Sky completely, and then you try it out, it just runs over everybody. Totally. It seems like it would be so nice, right? Seems recent. I've been seeing them miss. Oh, really, Monique? Okay, are you using maybe one of the newer versions of Mod Organizer? Maybe it's a bug in that. Cooled bee. I'm getting so hungry. I'm so excited to eat my Jack in the Box. I'm so excited to play video games. Okay, cool, Monique. Well, that's probably it. You probably have it figured out then. I haven't played video games since Vietnam. The last video game I played was like an hour of Final Fantasy 11 on like Sunday night, I think. Mage armor should be a one-time block, then go on cooldown for X amount of time, be a basic mage spell like in D&D. A one-time block, then go on cooldown. Oh, as in so that like blocks one hit is what you're thinking, Sloth? Oh, so almost like actually wasn't aware that's how it worked in D&D. My D&D character is a bard. My character honestly fucking kicks ass right now in like the Dungeons and Dragons session that I'm currently in. So I'm like a bard, but in the universe that we're running, it's kind of like this gothic noir universe, like 1930s magic and whatever. My character is also like a hybrid like were creature. So I'm a bard, but I also have some decent like single target damage between my like bites and claws. So I'm kind of like jack of all trades. I would describe myself as not the most powerful in any respect, but like I can kind of do. I'm very utilitarian. I can do kind of. I'm like a red mage essentially. Yeah, I was thinking that sounds like a ward, but I understand how that works in the context of like D&D, or it's essentially like Geralt's Quen in The Witcher, where you know it's like you cast the Quen and it kind of has a cooldown based on like the sign resource, and it also has did I forget to do Verdant or Vedozabram? Wait, what did I do? And like as you upgrade it, right? What the H? All right, whatever. I guess it didn't get mad that I don't. Oh, because I still have this installed. Oopsie. I was like expecting it to yell at me about missing plugins, and it didn't. As you upgrade, oh yeah, there you go. Here's ground cover of tree leaves. So it's a bit much. It's cool though. I swear there's like something else affecting the ground coverage over here. It feels like sparse, and I don't know why. Is there a way to make house interiors in world? There absolutely is, Con. It's just a matter of performance. Like anything you can create in an interior, you can bring out to the rest of the world. It's just you might kind of have performance get fucked a little bit. So this ground cover, it looks nice. It's a bit over yellow. And the grass is sparse. I mean, I can densify it a little bit. Maybe it's like for performance reasons. But yeah, you can see it's not very dense at all. The leaves depend on season. I don't think so, Atil. That's kind of a problem. Leaves must be... Not really, because the leaves are not... my CPU is crap, actually. I mean, it's not crap, but it's not great. The leaves are just a texture. They're just painted on, essentially. So they're not like objects or anything like that. Let me issue massive grass popping around Whiterun. Turn into a forest now. I can't see that far. That'll do it. Yes, so fully exterior interiors are totally possible. They're just performance intensive. You can kind of get around them with... I mean, you just have to really be smart with like how you build them out. And using occlusion planes, that's a big one. Let's see the tundra texture. So I don't know why... I mean, I can try upping the density. Maybe we should try this for frost will add seasons temperature-wise. Never seen anything that changes the weather, textures, and light around seasons. Yes, Shepard is correct. Or at least that's been my experience as well. It's unfortunate because the seasons add so much to a game. Alright, so the tundra texture. And like, I really do like a lot of Vadozabrom's like grasses. Maybe I'll just make it denser. This seems to be quite like this. Or maybe we'll try this this grass on steroids option. I'm digging this though. What do you guys think? Is this the new... Oh, look at like these clovers. Lore-wise seasons mean anything in real life? I think they do. Atil. Oh, I think I'm digging this new tundra texture. Let's see. We can load this guy. No, whoops. This one. Holidays mod adds good seasonal feel. Yeah, it's about as close. That's why I love it so much. It's why I added it. Oh yeah, that's I think I'm gonna go with this one. Guys, Skyrim realistic overhaul. Can we get a shout out? I think that looks really good. Just a bit less green. You know what I mean? Oh. Perf. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love it. I really do like Vadozabrom's grasses too. It's just, why are they so... Maybe they're just sparse like around here or something. But let's try it. Why don't we... I mean, since we're here, might as well try. The footsteps sound so good. Oh, yeah. Thank audio overhaul of Skyrim and immersive sounds compendium. Those have already been patched generally, so you'll be hearing the correct sounds. All right, you're up. Grass mod. Grass FPS booster. Files. All you need. Vanilla grass, cathedral light, optional files, pebble reducer. No verdant, no weeds, and pebbles. I'm assuming this is a foam mod then. Ugh. Oh. Never used holidays until US, so thanks for that, Dylan B. Perry. You're welcome, Elroy. It'd be amazing if someone did the work for that. You'd have to have 4 different sets of texture, weather, lighting. It'd be a massive mod and take up tons of space as well as tons of work. Now, see, I think... I mean, you're right. So a lot of weather mods do try and introduce seasonality in their weather and lighting already. So there's people who have done that work already. Equinoctium might be one of them. I believe, actually, Equinoctium, one of its features is... Yeah, weathers and seasons. So we already have that, right? Here you go. You, there. So we're already half there, maybe even more, because this would be the really hard part, full seasonal weathers. Then what you'd want is you just have essentially just texture variations. Like, it would be a ton of work for all the different vegetation, but you could do, like, you know, texture variants based on what part of the year it is. And, you know, that's like, it's a lot of work, but it's doable for sure. In fact, maybe it's something that we could look into, where you just, you know, have different kind of colored grasses or foliage based on what season it is. Like, you just take the existing textures and paint over them, you know, or make whatever edits you need to. That would be super cool. Super, super cool. I would love that. Grass FPS booster. 237 already. My gosh. Quality performance. Grass FPS. Select this for high-end PCs. Oh, you know that's us. I don't really even see the difference. Vanilla grass retexture. Do not install this if you're new. Next. We are using Vedozabrom. When's the last time this was updated? That's a good question. Oh, pretty recently. So probably grass field. It's probably more recent than Vedozabrom. Proper support. Can't really tell. Well, when was Vedozabrom updated? It was pretty recently. Shit, 28th of August. Well, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's just a difference in, like, the ini or something. Hold on. Hold up. We'll see. There's no change log. Shit. Version 1. Oh, did he reset? I think he kind of like reset it. Texture swaps are the least intensive way I could think to do that, unless there's script functions. I think there's script functions changes at runtime. Yes. Seasons in Minecraft super easy. Snow falls in the sky and just stays in the ground. Right. Since we don't have any actual snowfall. Although there's something like that in, hold on. Don't quote me. Silent Horizons EMB. Check this out. Optional. Snow cover add-on. Add-ons. Pre-pass. I think I installed it. Didn't I? I did. Okay, so we just got to figure out how to use it in game. Maybe this is attempting like a snowfall weathers style like situation. Oops, see. Vedozabrom. Install. Let's see what it does. Shimon. What have you done? ESP ini. Grass size 80. So I guess it's going to overwrite somehow. And what are you doing under the hood, my friend? Bethesda themselves made seasons for Skyrim for fun and didn't add them into the full game. What the heck? Maybe it's just one of those things that would take too much to implement. Wait, why? Oh, what am I missing? Yep, it's not updated for the most recent version. Ooh, oops. Well, can't use that for right now then, but what we can do is this. $40 even. So dense. We've done it. We're gonna fire that back in. We'll see. How does this mod work? Let's tear it open. That's the only way to do it. I have a seasons mod for ES6. I think too much work for too little on the current engine. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it doesn't seem like it would be that hard. Famous last words, of course. God knows I've said that a million. How come you don't full screen Chrome? It's making me unreasonably comfortable. I do usually. it's that like so I actually use a series of keyboard shortcuts that I've outlined in Display Fusion to like move my windows. Like I make them like, you know, half and half, or I full screen and minimize them. But my keyboard shortcuts don't work when I'm streaming. So like I try to use them, they don't work, and then I just don't bother to do it with the mouse. Your ad gameplay is really interesting. We'll pop in again. Thanks for sharing. Of course. Thanks for watching. It's even on video. It's for fun. They told all the employees on the game spent a week or something like that working a feature they liked it. They'd add it in. Interesting. I don't know why you wouldn't. Like, I wonder what the downsides to adding it in were. I was thinking about spoofing the ESP and just renaming it, but Display Fusion is amazing. Can't live without it. I agree, Elroy. All right, well, let's pop in, and you know what? What is the name of it? It's like Fall Forest. Fall Forest leaves. No. Fall Forest grass. Yeah, I think that's what I'm talking about. I'm going to try hiding these. Just to see what the SRO versions are. These are essentially the only two kind of texture mods I have running at the moment that cover like a lot of different things. Let's see how that looks, just for fun. Yes, 6 concerns me sometimes. Bethesda does it poorly. Where's my... There it is. It has more modding potential than Skyrim. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are pretty worried about ES6, myself included. I'm like... I still have a lot of faith and respect in Bethesda. It's tough when like Fallout 76 was the last thing that we got from them, and even that was like kind of not from them, or it's the hyper monetization element from like ZeniMax. That's not really them, and like Fallout 76 is like, you can tell that a lot of love was poured into it in a lot of ways. So I don't know. And like Fallout 4 is something. It's really cool in a lot of ways too. Ignore my shit talking. You know how it be. It's just like Starfield's going to be, I think that's going to be a good canary in the coal mine for what we might get out of ES6. Or if there's something we really don't like, we're going to get Starfield probably significantly before ES6. So, you know, maybe they'll listen. Yeah, Monique, I feel you. It's almost like just have low expectations, right? If you have kind of, if you're prepared for the worst, then you're set. You're safe. And if you get the best, then you're just pleasantly surprised, or you get something better than the worst. Really eloquently said there, I know. Sorry, I haven't eaten anything. Okay. Load. Go right here. Yeah, I knew you were going to get mad at me that time. How about that power? In terms of story/RPG, it's always further down the drain with a new release. That is 300% true. Oh my god. Look at all this ground cover. I need to see the actual textures, though. I gotta see how dense the grass is. I can't see. This looks different. Rock pile texture set. Fall forest dirt, right. Okay, so that's... We're seeing Skyrim realistic overhaul. It's actually pretty similar to the A-Medium Born textures, so I might just leave that on. Can't quite see... Yeah, that's ground cover. It's not going to show me that. Look at all of that. Alright, well, knowing that, I'm actually going to reinstitute the Amidian Born. And then I just want to see Verdant in this area. God, I must be talking so loud when I take my headphones off. It's like I have sound-canceling headphones, right? Look at these. Ooh, I mean, it does look really cool. It's very yellow. Very, very yellow. And now we can also, let's load back into here so we can see the difference in the density. And then I'm going to load back up Verdant. And then how much time do we have? Just show off some other visuals real fast before we go. What do you guys think? So, I mean, that is denser, to be sure. Just, you know, kind of like marginally. It's like the way that it's spreading it all around, you know? Like when you're down on the ground, it's no sweat. It's when you get up, it's like that looks dense. It's actually very tall now. It's just, you know, it's the distribution, and I know the distribution is what that mod is looking to fix, right? It's a good song, Elroy. Are there Chinese modders? I'm asking because they have their own community of everything. I'm pretty sure that there are. There's some mods that are for sure Chinese. Unhide. Oops. Alright, you guys are good to go. And ¿dónde está Vetosbrum? It's so hard to choose between these, isn't it? Landscape fixes for grass. I'm just gonna leave it without. Okay. Uno más. Skyrim was extremely basic and linear. Fallout 4 is even worse. 76 just went slow. I thought of a major armor change. Beginner mages have one free block, and once they become master mages, learn how to properly avoid damage. Use spells an easy block for the off chance they do get hit. Focus on DPS. Sure. Or you just, I mean, the to me the obvious progression path then becomes you can tank more than one hit. Like as you get better at casting spells, you know, your mage armor does more. Here's something, you know what kind of sucks? I mean, what they did in Skyrim is essentially like they made the lesser spells useless, right? Because you would get better spells like mage armor 4 instead of 3 and whatever. It sucks. You should have like, you know, spells should scale in interesting ways with your abilities so that not just like as you get higher, or like maybe introduce like a D&D style system where like you can take a lower level spell and like cast it at a higher level for, you know, like increased benefit in some way, but also like an increased cost as well. The D&D spell casting system is like in some ways not great, but I think in other ways it's super cool. It's got very cool ideas anyway. I think I kind of like it as like a meaningful, like if there was a way to make the distinction meaningful between, you know, like mages and what's it called, warriors, like people like stamina based builds. I think it would be cool maybe if like mages are generally more like kind of D&D wizards where it's like maybe you have more magicka to start with, but the regeneration is lower and it's more finite. Or maybe there's ways to kind of like gear yourself more like a sorcerer build where your focus is more on magicka regeneration and less on, you know, I mean, I guess that's kind of what the Atronach stone does. Okay. Once more into the breach, my friends. No, here. Skyrim. Sure. You. Blah, 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 blah. Working a little spell mod. I'm trying to make the spell scale. It's hard to find the right formula. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Boom. Alright, so here's our Verdant. Everyone's favorite.
Yes?
Need something?
Like, it does look nice, but it's like this is just the same grass, I feel like, as the Whiterun Tundra, is it not? I just really like Vadozabrom's focus on like separate regions. But there's also like within this, there's a lot of like color variation too. It's tricky. Really hard to choose between, to be honest. Like this area I think looks better. I suppose I could always just kind of selectively use both. It's always an option. But actually I don't know how that'll work. Like with grass mods versus, you know, other mods. It's a little different. I just like that there's like different colored stuff to kind of like punch it. So it's not just all yellow, you know? Especially when you have like these red leaves. Having the red kind of just punctuating it. Even if that doesn't look super great like the leaves. I think it looks nice in general. Dunno. Alright, what else can we check before we go? We can look. You guys want to see what some interiors look like? Maybe like, we can look at like Whiterun. I love how overgrown and wild it looks. Totally. And just having the color broken up, I think, visually is really cool. So let's go, here. Let's go back to my favorite, Fort Amel. Oops. Starting to create mods myself is a good place you go for info. See, here's like Verdant, which does look nice. I really love like the overgrown textures here for like the forts, like the Amedian-born ones. I feel like that kind of the all the algae and stuff really drives home this idea that these forts were like pre-Second Era. Thanks for joining us, Shepard. Look, here's the interior. I think it looks quite nice, if I do say so myself. Yeah, the Creation Kit website is cool. Honestly, there's a lot of Discords that are really, really good. I would check out the, like the Nexus Mods Discord is a good resource, probably. I think this looks really good. IMO. Yep. So this is mostly Amedian-born. This floor texture is Skyrim Realistic Overhaul, because I kind of prefer it, actually, to the Amedian-born version. And then also, this wall texture is SRO. These guys. Which I quite like. And the rest is all Amedian-born. I picked these two because I think... The reason I think they work really well together is that Amedian-born's textures try really hard to kind of just deliver on the vanilla feel, and that's what SRO does as well. So you end up with this really kind of solid mixture. At least in my opinion. Sup? Where else can we go? We can check out like a cave. A little ember shard. Oops. Oh, ember shard mine. I thought it was 01. Interiors all game look better than me in exteriors. Well, it makes sense, Peon, because you have more kind of direct control over interior graphics, things like lighting, right? Really hard to choose between Vadozabrom and Verdant. Verdant is just like the, you know, the go-to standby. God, this looks fucking good. Am I wrong? Hello? Oh, look at you guys.
That's close enough.
You're not gonna attack me though, huh?
Now ain't this a surprise?
They like wait. Oh, oh. Oop. Stop. How about this? I'm over it. Does a mod that reduces hauling dungeon loot across the map sell it? Reduces hauling. That's what I'm working on for my next playthrough. What would your execution be, Jeff? What FPS do I get playing USLE on 1440p with my rig? With mine, I would say anywhere between, frankly, 30 to 60. It's like 60 or even above. Although I have it limited, it could go above. In like, you know, kind of the, what's it called? The, whoa. Like the wilderness. When I'm in cities and there's a bunch of stuff happening, it can go anywhere between like 30 to 35. Is it any darker in here? No, it doesn't appear that way. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to check. Night Eye. Is it just Night Eye? Is it a hyphen maybe? Nope. Alright. Player dot add spell. That's not. Maybe it is Night Eye. I for spell. I guess there's just the Khajiit version. Is it gonna let me use that? Oh, it does. Oh, look at that. There is Night Eye after all. Because there's full like image space modifiers. Hello, Inigo. That cave looks damn good. Are these textures installed? That's just SE looking better. This is the new texture loadout. Inigo. I'm glad you feel that way immediately. Basically, a new pair of merchants starting out with clear dungeon after you leave it, hauling the stuff to their shop and selling it later on. They take a cut, get it prices as they get more. I really like that option, Jeff. I like the option that you can kind of like outsource it in that way. So something that I've been like trying to, because I'm always kind of interested in those types of mechanics, right? Like how do you realistically get the stuff out of a mine if you want to. Like I have players with vastly reduced kind of like carry weight, like more realistic carry weight. So I have stuff like, you know, like I want to add like a cart that the character can like park outside and like load stuff up, or like give players, you know, the ability to like process materials on the spot, we'll say. Like if there's a bunch of iron armor, maybe they spend enough time to kind of like build out like a smelter outside and like process it that way or something, or like set up a little base camp. And to me, something like a what's it called, like a service that, you know, you could hire someone to go and do also makes sense in that context. It's the first thing I noticed after your glorious beard. You guys are too kind. Flattery will get you everywhere. I mean, this is all Amidian born, like almost everything you're seeing here, which is just a testament to the quality of Cabal's work. Uh-oh. Thanks for joining us, Atil. I'm gonna get you. Gotcha. Gotcha, bitch. Got him. Yeah, really good stuff. Anyone recommended Berserk and they were telling you about anime? It's 10 out of 10 anime. I'm Golden Age arc is okay on Netflix. You don't mind 3D. I'd probably watch the original. That might be... Right now I'm finishing up Tokyo Ghoul. It's probably what I'm going to do, honestly, right now. Is there anywhere else you guys would like to see, texture-wise, before I go? I can show you Whiterun really fast. It kind of gives you a sense of what it looks like. And how... I'm proud of Whiterun in general because I think it just really keeps with the vanilla visual design, which, I mean, to date, I still think is the best of, like, almost any of the textures I've seen. The textures that keep with the vanilla design, to me, often do the best job of making it, like... look really cool, in my opinion. Let's go exterior 01. Everyone loves Berserk too, I know. It's like the big old inspiration for like a bajillion different creators across many different industries and disciplines. Ooh. How about that, huh? So yeah, let's get a... This should be quite nice. I want to get a different night sky texture, maybe. I mean, it looks really nice. I can just see kind of like the edges of some, like, stars. Zerk is the original big guy with a massive sword aesthetic. Nice. Ooh. Tell me this doesn't look fucking amazing, right? Yep. How about them bricks, baby? Don't tell me anything, Alec here.
Causing no trouble. All we ask is to look for her.
Open cities. Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, I'm streaming right now. I mean, admittedly, there's not that many people out because it's nighttime. Let's go see what a nightmare the tavern is, shall we? Yeah, I think it looks really nice. And I'll set the game hour to like in the middle of the day so you guys can see what it kind of looks like. You know, in the daytime. Uh-oh. Who's fighting? Oh, is it? Oh, God. Jesus. Yeah, it's a bit crowded. It's almost like they need some additional, what's it called? Additional idol. This is where everyone went.
Good evening.
Hello. Nope. That's what simple children looks like, by the way. What's up, John?
Well met, kinsman. What brings you to Whiterun?
Nah. What's up, everybody?
Good evening. May your sword be sharp. And your tongue sharper. Thank you.
Make it quick.
Okay. Yeah, the Drunken Huntsman is kind of a tavern. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like how populated they are. They just need to have something to do. Other besides just stand around. But it's not really one mod so much as it is a bajillion different mods that all have them kind of doing stuff. All right, now let's go. See, this is what I'm talking about. You see, like, this star that I have directly in the center of the screen, right? Because of the E and B, you can see kind of like an edge around the light. Like you can see it's like a flat texture, if that makes sense. Oh, I have more tavern idols, Elroy. I assure you. It's just that there's so many people that all of the tavern idols are, they're spent, you might say. Okay, set game hour to, I don't know, let's go 9 in the morning. Some nice morning lighting. It looks like this. Not bad, right? Boom, baby. Yeah, no kidding. Bannered Mare is where it's at. Straight up. Oh shit, am I in the wrong?
I have a lot of things to do.
I think I'm in the wrong. I'm in Whiterun Origin right now. It's not the real Whiterun. I don't think so. It's not. We're cheating. Looks great. Is there Flora mods on? There is an ego, at least in the form of Verdant. Ow. Now we're cooking with fire. Now we're in the real one. Oh, it's gross. Fix. There we go. Beautiful.
Huh?
Can I check this real fast? Populated Hell Edition. Huh. I'm trying to decide between the two different versions of populated Skyrim. There's populated Skyrim Reborn for SSE, and then there's the one by the Sands of Time team. And my issue with the Sands of Time team one is that it adds some like weird kind of like NPC interactions like the ones you saw outside of Embershard. But it also, I think, has improved Open Cities support like out the gate. So it's tricky. Looks great. Really glad you're able to get Open Cities working as well as you have. Thank you very much, Jeff. It's been an effort, and there's still a lot more to do. As you just saw there, like a lot of patching, but I'm not done conflict resolution yet. Conflict resolving yet, rather. And in addition to kind of getting everything running with Open Cities, I am going to be trying my best to add really fun stuff, like fun mechanics that allow you to take advantage of Open Cities, like climbing mechanics or like rope arrow mechanics with things like sneak tools and whatever. Just kind of giving a purpose to the openness, so to speak. Also with, what's the word? With kind of a appropriate reactivity to accompany these kind of new interactions that you couldn't really do before. It's like a good example of that is that if I have, what is it? Sneak. If a guard sees me sneaking around like this, they'll start to follow me because they'll become suspicious. And they will, I believe one of these guys is probably following me now. Is it you guys or is it someone else? Are they watching me? I don't know. Yes, observed by the guard. So if someone sees you like sneaking around all creepily like that, and you don't sneak successfully, they'll start to keep their eye on you, which I thought might balance the ability to, you know, have you climb around on walls and stuff. Yeah, Sands of Time team, Sands of Time it covers a lot of different things. And there's stuff that they do that I really like, and then there's stuff that they do that I think is a bit beyond the pale, we can say. It gets a little hokey. A good example of something I think they did really, really well is like we're using their port of Sounds of Skyrim, which features a lot of really cool edits to it. It's a little bit more granular in terms of its control than Arthmore's edit or his port. There's nothing wrong with Arthmore's port either, but I really like the Sands of Time one. And just things like that, where they have some mods that I really, really like, and then some others that I'm not as keen on. And I think with populated Skyrim, like they might have kind of gone beyond the pale a little bit. There's some. I know that one of the primary impetuses for populated Skyrim Reborn was that the author felt like the Sands of Time team took too many liberties with the base mod. I can show you. Here, where's this one? Populated Skyrim Reborn SSE. So here's the Sands of Time. Here's the other one. What mod does the observe by the guard mechanic? That is suspicious city guards. Can you make it illegal to walk on the walls? Maybe Rear Isle. Monique, Open Cities is such a headache. If you didn't do this yourself, I'd almost feel bad for you. I just really like it, Monique. I really like the idea that you can climb over and around on stuff. I really like the idea that you can, you know, like move between the different areas in different ways. Like, you know, use like the sewers or kind of, I don't know. The whole thing kind of came from this idea of like playing a thief character and really like stalking around these areas. Yes, I have seen Capital Whiterun expansion Sloth. I really would like to take a look at it as kind of my core expansion for Whiterun eventually, because from what I can tell, I've said this in other streams, but it does a very sensible job of expanding the city. I find that a lot of mods that try to expand locations and kind of improve their scale do so in a way that doesn't really make sense to me. Like the new areas are not logically laid out the way that an actual city would be, and things like that kind of bother me. I'm very particular when it comes to certain things, as you guys might be able to tell by now. And as far as I can tell, rather, it seems to do a really good job. Capital Whiterun expansion, that is. How about Bells of Skyrim? Not sure if it's on SE, though. It would pair well with Open Cities Dragon Attacks. Totally. Bells of Skyrim is for sure on the list. It's not in there yet, but I have it in my big old download pile for certain. Yes, this is populated Skyrim Reborn. This is my port you can read here. As I understand, the original version and Dolphins editions are free, right mods. So to port them includes populated city, blah, blah, blah. I know the same mod was already ported by the Sands of Time team. After encountering weird issues, I decided to port this version. Fear Sands of Time team has done weird edits. I think this version was more professionally edited and balanced. Oh, shit. I made all plugins ESL. Contrary to SOT version, this version is more faithful to Erkyle's original version. This is the populated Skyrim Sands of Time. And you can see that something that the Sands of Time team has always kind of had about it is this kind of interesting like Web 2.0 aesthetic, like crunched down, like JPEGs that are not to scale and stuff like that, where it doesn't, like, there's a lot of stuff that the mods do that's really cool. There's just something funny about it to me. Off topic, do you do this full time? Do you have another job? I do it full time, Inigo. This is working on the mods and stuff is my full time job. I'm still at this point, especially since quarantine, kind of not really making enough to where I'm still kind of subsisting on a nest egg that I have for myself, some savings that I have from working more traditional jobs, you might say. But I feel very lucky to even make as much as I do now, and I'm hoping that I can even up that a little bit once I, release special edition and start to market it and so on and so forth. Bells of Skyrim sounds like a great idea until you actually play with it. Some idiot gets stuck in combat with a mud crab and it's, oh, geez. Oof. Lasts until the combat ends, which can be buggy sometimes. That was for Dragon Attacks. Some crappy graphics on their page. Right, which does not necessarily speak to the quality of the mods, of course. It's really funny. It makes me wonder, like, who does these? Because whoever it is, it seems common to like all the page design graphics by Ghost Agent. There you go. Very funny. May visit our website here. Oh man. All while informing you what our mods offer. With a good movie or book, I recommend letting yourself succumb to the story, become fully immersed, and enjoy every interaction made available. After exploring the main site and clicking through all the links, continue your journey in the sub-sites for more experiences that we have created for you, such as the Catacombs and the Anthology of Horror. Whatever feeling you might have about the Sands of Time team's mods, you gotta admit that they have a clear vision of what it is they're trying to do, and I gotta say, it's pretty cool. Like, even if it's not necessarily something that is, your cup of tea, which I think applies to me in a lot of cases, like, I mad respect what they're doing, and kind of it's just that next level kind of experiential treatment, you know what I mean? It's hard to say. Yeah, flashback to 98, exactly. Ninja Barney, holy crap, just decided to search US on here in your live. Been like a year. How you doing, Ninja Barney? I'm pretty good. I'm actually signing off right now because I'm starving. What did I do for a job before this? A couple different things, Con. I went to school for film, and I kind of got jobs in and around the film industry through college and then post-college. And then just kind of, I started a YouTube channel as kind of like a fun thing to do on the side. and then in addition to that, to create kind of like filler content. I was originally doing video essays. That's what I thought my whole shtick was going to be. And then I made Ultimate Skyrim to create kind of like filler content in between the, the video essays. And it turned out that people, not only I really enjoy working on Ultimate Skyrim more, because it was kind of like, I don't know, it feels like game development is the thing that I really am most passionate about when all is said and done. But that's what everyone else responded to the most as well. Oh my god. Jeez. Oh my gosh, guys. Kyle Rebel's Eyes. I believe that's the lead dev on, what's it called? On Sky Oblivion. Everyone please say hello. Thank you for the raid, Rebel's Eyes. Hello, hello, hello. What perfect timing. I was like, oh, I'm going to sign off and eat lunch. I'll stick around for at least a little while longer. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you who are not familiar, I'm the developer behind a little mod list called Ultimate Skyrim. Very happy to have you all. Might as well jump in and, I guess, show off what we were just looking at, right, guys? Timing, I mean, that's how it always works. I really do appreciate the raid. Here, I'll stick around for a quick second. We were just doing a kind of a visual showcase anyway. So, might as well just kind of jump in and take a look at what we were just looking at. How was your guys' stream? How's everything going in the world of Sky Oblivion? I'm pretty sure that there's a significant overlap in my viewers and people who are stoked to play Sky Oblivion. That includes me. Didn't know you streamed. Happy coincidence. Oh yeah, I don't tremendously often. Right now I'm just doing streams every week as kind of like a development update. Just kind of a, touching base with the community sort of thing. Oh yeah. I'm sure everyone else has been voraciously following the Sky Oblivion updates like I have. Oh boy. So what was the last thing we did? We looked at Whiterun. So the purpose of our stream today, if you guys would like to take a look, I spent most of this week working at Sky Oblivion development is great, really ramping up the last few months. That's awesome, Kyle. Really, really cool. I'm very selfishly excited. I'm so ready for Sky Oblivion. Thanks for all your hard work. You guys are very welcome. Thank you to Kyle. So I spent this week, mostly, we have an end of life update coming out for the Legendary Edition of Ultimate Skyrim. Really just trying to put, the finishing touches and all the polish points on the last version that is going to exist on Legendary Edition. And in the meantime, I have been just kind of dabbling. The work that I was doing on Legendary Edition didn't afford me a ton of time for Special Edition this week, but while I was waiting for the Wabajack installer that we're working on to kind of compile and doing a trial and error kind of situation there, it did give me at least the space to just work on like visuals, just kind of, texture mods and things like that. Yeah. Oh my God. There was I think it was a Skyrim mods post. I think it was you, Kyle, that someone on the Sky Oblivion team, posted just like a side-by-side comparison of like right out in front of the Imperial City, I believe it was. It was like within the last week or close to it. But it was insane. It was like, it 1-to-1 in terms of art direction, but obviously with the kind of the improvements that being in the Skyrim engine kind of affords Sky Oblivion. It was just absolutely insane to see. So anyway, here's Skyrim, Ultimate Skyrim SE as it is thus far. What did we show off? What was the cool guys who were in the stream? That was you. Okay, I thought it was. Yeah, that was really impressive to me. Just because, half of what I'm doing here, and I was talking about this during my stream, is that, like the highest fidelity textures and models and everything in the world, they're nice, but if the art direction doesn't fit, right? If like kind of the consistent contiguous feel rather is not there, then it kind of, you can have less fidelity, lower fidelity textures or models or whatever that I think end up more immersive, quote unquote, if they nail the art direction. And it was clear from the screenshot that you posted that the art direction was just complete, that like totally there, 1-to-1, absolutely. CGO, is that combat you're talking about? Sky Oblivion seems unreal, can't wait for it. Yeah, it's just, it really matters a lot. And so what I've really tried to do with the visuals here on Special Edition is retain the vanilla art direction, which I actually do think is really strong. There are certain areas in which I take some liberties, like a good example of this might be kind of like mountain textures, which I've never been a huge fan of in, you know, OG Skyrim. They're a bit gray, like for my taste. Combat gameplay overhaul is not, as of yet, there, or in the install. It's a big maybe. There's some other stuff that I'd like to kind of look at first. But otherwise, we really... So it's the combination, at least here, of... what is it called? Skyrim Realistic Overhaul and the recently ported Midian, like, landscapes and buildings. Hello, bud. Hold on. Which I think do a really good job of maintaining that vanilla art direction while upping the fidelity quite a lot. So here's kind of Iverstead, this general area. Where did we go? What was cool? Everyone who is in the Skyrim community seems to be this migrating monolith always ends up wherever the last streamer hosted. Everyone just kind of moves as like a big Zerg formation. Fort Amel, that was a good one. One of my favorites for looking at like fort textures. We went through Whiterun. We can look at some other areas, but Whiterun, I feel like it's so nice. We went into some caves. So here we've got just outside Fort Amel. And this is also the distant, like, LODs and stuff. I don't have Din Dulad running at all here. So anything you're seeing is definitely not a... I mean, nothing's final at all anyway. But the distant LODs have not been generated. So this is kind of just billboards and everything you're seeing that comes out of the box. And also Silent Horizons EMB. There's a lot of dead mages around here. Yeah, so here's your Imperial forts. And such. I gotta say, I'm very humbled that you guys sent the raid over. I'm just so excited, like, personally, for the Sky Oblivion project. So the idea that you guys are even aware of my project is very humbling and cool to me. So here's our favorite little fort interior, right? Combo of Midian born. That's Cabal, for anyone who is not familiar. Cabal does... I mean, they've left the scene now, I think, and they seem to have given Cryptoper permissions for porting all of their mods, which is really cool because Cryptoper is just one of my absolute favorite modders. She is just absolute, like, professional, consummate professional. Are you a fan of CGO? The animations are very floaty and slidey across the ground. See, that's kind of my issue, Fazy, I don't know how you pronounce it. With CGO, I think it has cool ideas. There's just everything it's kind of trying to do, I'm doing a little bit differently at the moment with a different combination of mods. What I would really, really like to get into is dynamic animation replacer for the purposes of different weapon archetypes. So really giving the different weapon archetypes a different feel kind of inherently within themselves. Their, like, animated armory, right, has now kind of shifted over, I think, to using dynamic animation replacer kind of as its primary methodology. And what I would really like to do is just get a whole host of different types of weapons in the game that all have a very unique kind of move set and distinct feel, and, you know, all have all these weapons occupy a certain role in combat where, you know, they excel at certain things and are less good at other things where other weapon types might excel. So having that kind of combined with the different types of builds that we're trying to enable through things like a lot of Enei's mods, which are, of course, just, oh my god, some of the most fun mods that you can get your hands on. Combine that with Requiem and some of the other things we have planned, and hopefully you'll have a kind of a lineup of mods that just really allow you to experiment with a crazy degree of builds, you know, between your weapon choice and your ability choice and your standing stones and your racial bonuses. Really trying to hammer home what you might call the ARPG inspired character building. Where do we go after this, everyone? We already went to Embershard. I showed all you guys that. I feel like Whiterun was really cool. Do we have like an autosave from there? Perhaps. I don't think so. Auto. Where is this from? Nope. Let's go. Just because that Whiterun exterior was so sick. Like little moss in those ground textures. Is that Amidian? It could be, Jeff. It could also be Majestic Mountains. Both of them have options for that. Speaking of Enei, any plans to include his new mod Triumvirate? I don't know anything about Triumvirate Black Alpha. What's the Cliff's Notes on that? The stamina mod that is built to integrate with CGO lets you tweak the stamina usage of the rolls. That's very cool, Faintful. That's actually stuff that, typically from like a a modding perspective, you can adjust fairly easily. Oh, this Overhot Ulfhild. That's right. That's another thing that we've been focusing on a lot lately, is going through, and we have a lot of NPC overhauls. Why is this horse dead? Oh, are the companions fighting over here? No? Yes? Oh, no, maybe not. Guess that fight's over. Just individually selecting NPC appearances to make sure that they're not over beautified and that everyone kind of fits. Let's, what was the game hour that we were at? What was the sweet spot? Golden hour. It was like, no, I wouldn't have it in there. Set game hour to, let's try 18. So that's pretty good. It's a beautiful sunset here. Let's go ahead and speed that up a little bit. Scale to 600. I want to get that nice twilight dusk that we had before. Here we go. Oh no, not like that though. I want a nice clear day. I mean, who doesn't love a little bit of rain? I certainly do, since we don't get any here in California. Triumvirate is basically Spellmont focuses on build types, spell archetypes rather than a general spell pack. Kind of like Forgotten Magic redone, but balanced. Oh, shit. Well, and it's an Enei mod, right? Oh, you know what? I think I do know about this. It basically adds like a bunch of new spells that kind of fit like an archetype, like a druid or like a, those kinds of things, I believe. I think I did read up on that. Here you go. So this was a scene that I'm really stoked about. We have kind of a, if you live in California, DP, there's been a lot of wildfires there recently. Hope you're doing okay. I'm doing just fine. Thank you, Faintful. We do live in California. Unfortunately, wildfires are the name of the game when it comes to living here, and we've experienced quite a lot recently. Oh, what's going on over there? Who knows? The biggest kind of the Rebel's Eyes has been complaining about it raining for like a week. Steal Their Rain. He'd love that. Oh man, I wish we had it. We're also in a drought. We're also in a heat wave, the worst that we've ever had, or worst since 2002 rather. Druid Warlock Assassins. Okay, I do remember that, and I remember thinking it was very cool. Whenever stuff like that comes out, the tricky part is always Requiem balance, right? Making things work well with Requiem's de-leveled world. But to me, it's well worth the effort. It's fire season, you get used to it a bit. It's just like earthquakes. If it's a small one, you go right back to sleep while it's still shaking. It's very true, and you know what's funny about that, Jeff, is that so my wife, she grew up in the Midwest. She moved to California for school, and she's been here ever since, for college, that is. So she's not used to earthquakes, right? Like, I don't think there were that many earthquakes when she was in school, and there haven't really been that many since, since we moved in and whatever. So I'm so used to earthquakes that, like, there's been a couple times in the past year that we've gotten little earthquakes here and there. And, me having grown up in California, I'm just like, whatever. It doesn't even occur to me. And it did not occur to me that for her, they would be absolutely terrifying. So she's definitely been in some of those instances pretty spooked, and I felt bad because I was like, oh yeah, like you didn't grow up with earthquakes all the time. Look at these, what are these, traveling group of priests? What are they doing? Who knows? Has a lot less spells than Apocalypse. They're a lot more specialized. I really like that concept. It seems, when I read the description for that mod, it seemed to me that Enai's goal was essentially, what's the word? Enabling like certain like role play styles, or like, you know, it made me think like he was thinking about players who envision a certain type of character in their head, like a, you know, like a nature-based character, like a druid or like some sort of warlock or whatever, and he wanted to give them tools to kind of more sufficiently live out those kind of role play archetypes, which I just think is a really cool idea. I totally agree with it. I think it very much aligns with the kind of stuff that I like to do with Ultimate Skyrim, and I think it would fit as like a perfect complement. Gotta go have fun, dude. See ya. Thank you very much again for the raid, Kyle. I'm actually gonna have to get going here pretty quick, so you can tell my brain is falling apart because I haven't eaten anything today. So I'll probably sign off right now at the same time as you. But yeah, if you guys are interested in Ultimate Skyrim, we have a subreddit and a Discord, and I stream here on Twitch generally once a week, Fridays at noon. Anyone who's still watching from my stream who's not familiar with Skyblivion, please check it out. Essentially, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a rebuilding, essentially, of Oblivion in Skyrim. But correct me if I'm wrong. Hopefully, Kyle's not gone, or maybe one of you guys can explain it for me. Skyblivion is a direct port of Oblivion into the Skyrim engine, or Skyblivion? That's, I believe, what it is, right? Like, it's the actual game of Oblivion that you guys are trying to recreate, as opposed to what I believe like Beyond Skyrim is doing, where like they're looking at Cyrodiil set in the same time as Skyrim. Is that correct? Because I've watched like quite a few streams, and I do believe that I saw like one of your level designers was rebuilding dungeons and kind of expanding on them that were directly from, I mean, it makes sense that they would have the same dungeons. As a remake. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I was hoping for. I was like, it would still be cool, you know, having, I'm sure, what Beyond Skyrim is going to come up with. But for me, the real treat would be replaying through Oblivion, you know, in the Skyrim engine. Very, very cool. Used to think I felt a lot more in San Jose, but the house I lived in was over 150 years old and swayed a bit when heavy trucks drove by. I feel you there, Jeff. That is, I can see it. And even our apartment here in LA, sometimes I feel it move. Skyblivion is the remake. Beyond Skyrim is new stories that take place at the same time as Skyrim. Okay, I thought that was the case, but I wanted to make sure. So yeah, for anyone from my stream, if you're not aware, please check out Skyblivion. They have a YouTube channel where they have a lot of stuff showcased. And it's just a really excellent project that I'm personally very excited for. It's kind of crazy we're getting that, and also Skywind, right? Like the Morrowind remake in Skyrim, which also looks really cool. That makes me wonder if there aren't any sort of developer overlaps between those two projects. Seems like there would be a lot of opportunity for kind of like cross-pollination and helping each other out. I don't really know, though. In any case, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys very much. If you want to catch the VOD of this stream, too, I always upload the VODs to my YouTube channel, which I think is just called Dylan Perry right now. I'm probably going to change the name to Ultimate Skyrim soon. But I really appreciate you guys stopping by and sticking around. Thank you again, everyone who rated. Thank you for everyone who joined me for the stream, just, you know, from following me here on Twitch. And I will, if anyone has any quick questions for me that I haven't answered yet, feel free to lob them my way. Otherwise, I'll go ahead. Let me see if there's anyone I can raid. How about that? We have... Uh-oh. Does not look like it. No Skyrim modders anyway, unfortunately, for me to continue the Zerg. Oh, boy. All right, everyone. Well, thank you very much for joining me, as always, and I will see you in the next stream. Take it easy. Have a good weekend.